Oh, right. How we doing?
How we doing?
Got some dog ass right at the top of the show. Some dog
Ben.
butt. Just hanging out. He's like, hey, what's up? You wanna be on the show,
Yeah.
Ben? You gonna be the guy? There he is. There's Ben. Big dummy. He's a goofy guy.
All right.
He just came to talk about Gears of War with us. He's still doing well with the puppy?
Yeah, he's doing good.
That's good. I gotta figure like he would like I don't even know. Start having a problem with him.
Nah, he plays with him. I mean, he's like I said last time you asked, he's more scared of the puppy than anything.
Which is wild because he's like Ben's not a
such a-
huge dog, but he's not a small
he's a-
dog.
He's much bigger than the puppy, and he's just fucking terrified of him.
And that puppy, the puppy being a pit. Pits get thick. Not big. They're not
yeah,
big
he's
dogs,
already-
but they're thick.
He's already getting wide.
Yeah, they're muscular dogs.
Yeah.
They'll bowl you over. Ben is just big and stupid. So that combination gets a little dangerous sometimes.
You stupid?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a little slow. No, he's a good pooch. He's a good dog. He's one of those dogs like he's too stupid to be mean. You know what I mean? He's just here loving life, making grilled cheese in the middle of the night.
Making grilled cheese.
Yeah,
We
sort of.
got a grilled cheese press in the house now.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
that sounds awesome. That sounds
It's pretty cool, dude.
This sounds great. Just to be able to wake
it's
up.
pretty
and-
cool.
What you doing, Danny? Pressing grilled cheese. I'm in the kitchen pressing the cheese. You know what I mean?
Press that cheese,
But
Danny.
that's one of those like hard farts. You know what I mean? You gotta like just you can't get it out. You gotta force it out. You know what I'm talking? Are you just beating your dog? What are you doing? No,
He has an itchy back. He can't get to it, so I slap his back, and he's like,
no, but yeah, like you know what kind of toot I'm talking about? Like when it's just like you gotta force them out. Kinda
"Oh yeah,
hurts,
dude,
a little,
it feels like you ripped your butt."
little sharp little poot there.
Yeah, dude, I know exactly what you're talking about. Been there,
Been there, farted that. Been there, ruined those pants. You know what I mean?
been there, tooted that.
All right. Well, welcome everybody to the podcast. The podcast being Sweet Nostalgia. We're here talking about Gears of War.
Gears of War.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about it a little bit in the sense of I don't know the franchise that much, so it's going to be another one of those interesting moments where I'm just asking James a shit ton of questions and can just bombard it from that. And I think
I've also been told that I had gotten a few things wrong about the Lord of the Rings episode, which is fine.
Oh, really?
I don't think I was like, yeah, I got a few things wrong. I don't really know exactly what.
Who told you that you
but-
were wrong? Did somebody get a hold of you
Will.
after the show?
No, Will did.
Oh,
He was like, yeah, dude, you actually got a few things wrong, but it really
Mhm.
isn't that big a deal. And it mostly had to do
Well, I
with
mean,
like stuff that wasn't part of the movies, right?
oh,
So-
the outside lore, the
Yeah.
shit that gets developed after the fact.
Right. But I mean, so it is what it is. But these are video games, and I know these video games.
I do not know these video games. I've played the first Gears of War when it came out. That's it.
13 years ago.
So, yeah, over a decade ago.
13 years ago, 2012, the first Gears of War hit the shelves at your local GameStop, Blockbuster, and Family Video.
And possibly Toys R Us.
And possibly Toys R Us, maybe even a KB Toys. Actually, I think KB Toys was gone by then, but
Yeah, I think so. But, yeah, so over a decade that I've touched a Gears of War game. So, I don't know shit of what I'm talking about. So I'm just going to be asking James on the questions and be learning. You know what I mean? I've always been interested in Gears of War. But
Gears of War is one of my favorite franchises, dude. I always get excited when something new about Gears of War happens. I don't know, dude. It's just one of those because I'm an Xbox guy, and it's one of those mainline Xbox games. So I just love it.
Yeah, with my time in Gears of War is like, I thought it was cool. I thought the guns looked cool. I thought the Lotus, is that what they're called? The Locust?
Locusts.
Locust.
Locust.
I thought they looked cool. Like a chainsaw on the end of your gun is pretty sick.
Yep.
You know
the
what I mean?
Lancer.
I thought everything looked cool. I thought the combat was very different. The cover
it was
combat.
unique for the time. Yeah, it was unique for the time. Cover shooter.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like
it wasn't
unique.
It wasn't super unique. There was a handful.
No, it wasn't
of games,
super unique, but it was unique for Xbox games. You know what I mean? Because at the time we only had like, as far as like big shooters, was Halo.
Yeah, it was unique. It was definitely unique for multiplayer. You know what I mean? Just to be able to,
for sure, yeah.
Like it was very different, and like I would say
it was
that
also one of the first darker games that Xbox came out with. It was a very dark game.
It really
very
pushed
brutal, very
gibbing and all that
gory,
shit.
and gibbing. the birth of the term gib.
Yeah, your giblets. No, that was like something I thought was like super cool. You know what I mean? Like when I first got into Gears and saw it, I was like, okay, these like big alien bug guys, and I'm cutting them in half, and you know they're exploding, and I just exploded when I died, and you know I was like, the whole premise of this is really cool. I don't know what drove me away from playing it per se. I think it was just like,
I mean, if I had to guess, Call of Duty. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I don't know, because like I enjoyed it, and I think maybe just it's because like maybe being a child, maybe it's like my dad wasn't playing it, so we didn't buy any of the other ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he literally bought the first one and then never went anywhere from that because he didn't buy it, so we didn't really have it in the house.
Yeah.
And you know, I think also around that time, Fallout 3, New Vegas, shit like that. So I mean, I'm pretty sure 3 was out already. You know, I think New Vegas came out. I forget when New Vegas came out, but Fallout was definitely out. I know 3 was out for sure. So definitely playing a lot of that more than anything. Because that's where, honestly, during the 360 days, like, a lot of my time was put into Fallout. You know, playing Fallout 3 and New Vegas. And whenever, you know, Call of Duty wise, like multiplayer wise, I was definitely playing, you know.
I mean,
Black
so
Ops and shit like that.
I wasn't really. I got into Gears of War and I never really looked back. You know what I mean? I played a lot of Halo, played a lot of Gears. Wasn't a big Call of Duty kid. Hell was that?
She dropped some.
Yeah, no, I played a lot of Halo, played a lot of Gears. I didn't really play tons of Call of Duty. I did play Call of Duty, but not a lot.
Yeah, when I played Halo, like I played somewhat of like the online, but I mainly just played the story and played the firefights and shit. Like when playing like, you know, like especially like 1, 2. I didn't really play much of 3, ODST especially, Reach. I'm actually playing.
I don't think 1 through 3 even had firefight, did they?
No, I think it was.
I think that kind of came with 3.
Well, I think maybe 3 did, but ODST had it.
Maybe. Well, I mean, and then speaking of like firefight, Gears had its own horde mode.
Yeah,
which
I was about to say.
So sick, dude.
I think I did try that,
and it only got better, like in the later games.
Yeah, I think like for my time in Gears was playing through the story, which it's been 13 years. I don't even remember the story. And I played the horde mode and I played a little bit of the online. I will say like what my problems were with the game and what still is my problem. I don't like how whenever you start getting hit, you get the gear around your screen because it just like takes
it's
up.
It's not around your screen. It wasn't the first one, but it wasn't any more at the second and third one. Instead, you got to gear the cog symbol like in the middle of your screen, right? So
Yeah.
none of the rest of your screen was affected, but right there in the middle of your screen, it started getting affected.
And he says, "Oh, hi, buddies."
Yeah, you gotta fix that chat box, dog.
Yeah. I don't know. That's what it
You're gonna have
defaulted
to-
as. And it's
you're gonna
so
have
small.
to- So you down there in the sources,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to right click it in sources and change the dimensions in there. If you can't, you should be able to. Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. In
Oh,
the
we'll
browser
figure it out.
settings, you have to change it.
But we'll see.
I
what happens.
really don't like that box can't be like changed vertically and horizontally separately. I don't
Yeah.
understand why you can't do that. That's so annoying.
I don't know. Yeah, obviously, as you guys can see, we're trying this new layout. You know what I mean? It was one of the camera settings like in what we already had in Streamlabs, and we just decided to try something out instead of like what we typically do. You know what I mean? I'm pressing less buttons, and you get
I
both
think it
of
looks. I honestly, personally, I think it looks better.
But yeah, no, with Gears, that was like my issue because I watched you play it not too long ago, and I still don't like the cog wheel in the middle because I feel like it just takes up so much of the screen. I don't know. That's one thing, and that's like a little thing not to like, but that sometimes just the littlest things can offshoot.
Yeah, there's
something
always
for you.
something. There's always something about a video game that people don't like, right? So like, I mean, if that's albeit a small complaint, if that's the one you have, then that is the one you have.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think that would deter me from playing the game, but like unlike with Hunt Shadow or whatever the fuck that game is.
Hunt Showdown.
Yeah, Hunt Showdown, that game and its FOV, that completely deters me from playing that game. 100%. I cannot play that game.
I think you can fix the FOV in Hunt Showdown now with the new.
I was about to say, whenever I was
version of
playing,
it.
I tried it out one day and could not change it. Got through the tutorial and I was like, nope, not playing it because I couldn't stand the FOV. If there's one thing that I can't stand, it's like super close, low FOV. Like every game I get in, I'm usually cranking the FOV all the way up. Besides Minecraft, because Minecraft does like the fish eye distortion, but other games don't. So I do crank my FOV all the way up.
The problem I run into with like FOV stuff is like I feel like I get hit more often and get like when I change my FOV in Vermintide or Darktide, I feel like I get hit when I shouldn't and I don't hit when I should. I feel like that happens to me a lot. And that's probably because I'm not used to that FOV, but also like it's never bugged me the field of view in most games that I play. I don't really change it ever unless it's at 75. If it's below like 90 to 100, I will change it.
But you're right there with me because I crank mine up to like because the highest it goes
always.
is
I think
like
125 is usually like the highest.
Yeah.
And I cannot do 125 because at one you'll either get that fisheye thing, right? And I can't stand that. But also sometimes I feel like I just miss when I shouldn't, or I get hit when I don't think I'm going to. And I just don't. I hate it.
For me, I do
like, it happens to me in Fallout too. Like if I play melee characters in Fallout, I feel like I'll change the FOV, like crank it up, you know what I mean? Because I want to see more stuff. But at the same time, I feel like I'm getting hit by other melee stuff when I shouldn't be, or hitting or not hitting when I think I should be. And it just gets on my damn nerves. So I'm just like, default it. I don't care. I don't care that much. If I want to find stuff out of my periphery, I'll just turn the camera, I guess.
Yeah,
it actually do something.
Depends on like the default. Like I was playing 6 Days in Fallujah last night, and the FOV is like a little too close for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just like whenever it's too close, it I don't know. It makes me a little sick. You know what I mean? Just, like I know
FOV has a huge thing with people who have like
motion sickness and shit. And,
I have motion sickness, but it doesn't really bug me. What is it? Vertigo.
Yeah, I wish I have, and it sucks.
Yeah. Which are different for people who don't know. Motion sickness and vertigo are different.
Oh yeah, no, I can be There's some days where if my vertigo is bad, I could be laying in bed and feel like I'm on a boat. You know what I mean? It sucks.
I just get dizzy when shit's moving too fast.
Yeah,
Like,
my thing is
I
like
can't play Doom. I tried playing when Doom Eternal came out, 2016. I tried playing that for a while. Wasn't working out for me, man. I kept getting sick. It was making me so sick.
it didn't make me sick. I think the game just sucks. I think it's a bad game.
That's a hot take. That's a hot take.
I'm gonna be
brother.
real with you. I think the Doom games suck. They're just not fun to me, in my opinion.
Wild. That's wild.
I did not enjoy it because like I hate.
That's wild, man.
Yeah,
You
the
don't-
concept
but
of
you
it's
like-
cool and the music's cool.
Ooh, the music is
Yeah,
crazy.
the music's fucking sick. But like I literally like in Fortnite, my menu music is from Doom and it's sick as fuck. But like,
Yeah, it's all from like they hire a bunch of metal bands.
well, yeah,
to make
and
the soundtrack.
that artist that composed a lot of that metal shit, he did a song with one of my favorite bands, Motionless in White. You know what I mean? It was sick. Like, but no, I think I hate games. Sometimes I don't like games when there is too much of a pattern. You know what I mean? Of like shoot, melee, shoot, melee, shoot. Like I don't like that. I hate it. It bothers the shit out of me. And because
Are
like,
you correlating that with Gears?
does Gears have that?
Oh,
No. So then no. I mean, I can't remember if Gears has that, but Doom has that a little bit. And
I can't. Well, I wouldn't really know anything about Doom. I never played the older games, and I tried playing.
well,
Doom
see,
Eternal,
so
and
I mean,
couldn't play it, so.
the like OG Doom games. No,
Yeah,
the OG Doom games are just your typical Wolfenstein and whatever. Just their
Yeah.
first person shooter type shit.
Yeah.
But like the new Doom Eternal and all that, I don't like the play style of it, but because it's my same thing with like The Walking Dead, Satan Sinners. I really like that game. It's a VR game, super cool, very well made. But like you can't just like take your machete and swack the zombies. The whole thing is grab the zombie by the face, stab it in the head. Grab him by the face, stab him in the head. That's like the only way
That's annoying.
that you're killing the zombie unless you
That's
shoot them
annoying.
in the face. But then if you shoot them, here comes a fucking horde of other walkers. So it's just like,
Yeah, I just couldn't play that.
that was like my whole issue with that game. Super great game though. Awesome
Yeah,
stuff.
I don't understand
but-
the two step melee system that's
Yeah.
stupid.
If you make a game and you have a 2-step kill thing, I don't like
Just
it.
make
There's a
it-
lot of
just
games
make
that
it
do that.
Yeah, just make it an animation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, rather let me melee
Let me
kill the
push the
enemy
button.
or
Yeah, let me push the button or make the motion to just grab and melee. I don't want to grab and then melee. Just
Yeah.
assume that if I'm grabbing something, I'm
Well,
gonna melee it.
because like there's some games where like that's just how you have to kill them. Like because like you could just sit there and argue with Halo, because Halo it's break the shield, melee them. That's a strat. You can rather just straight melee them, or you
is a
can
strat.
just fire on them and shit.
Yeah, I get that, but at
But
the
like
same
there-
time,
But there's games out there where like that's how you kill them. You have to
the way to
shoot
kill
them
the
and-
way to kill in Gears of War, you pick your poison, man. You know what I mean? You can full on rev your chainsaw and go execute anything you want to, right? Whip out the shotgun, blow it into pieces, or just fucking pull the trigger on your Lancer and gun them down. I mean, you kind of just do whatever you want. And there's also always new weapon pickups. Like you can grab yourself a long shot, a boom shot. You can grab yourself a mulcher. I mean, there's all kinds of weapons in that game that you can use. The variety, the spice and variety of life, dude.
Now, like in the multiplayer, is there like loadouts, perks, all that type of shit, or is it just like
No, there
you
are-
just
there are
guns
no
and you
perks.
just go ham?
It's just whoever's better than the other person. That's all gear. I mean,
Oh, so it's just like
there are.
literally
It's a lot
bare
like
bones shit.
well, it's a lot like Halo, where they have the power weapons, right? So like the long shot is a power weapon. The long
So
shot
it's an
being the
arena
sniper.
shooter.
Yeah. You have the long shot, which is your sniper. You have the boom shot, which is basically a bazooka with a bit of an arch to it. You have the mulcher, which is just like a Gatling gun.
Oh, okay.
There's all kinds of power weapons, right? Just like Halo. But basically in multiplayer, all you're doing is you have your Lancer or your Retro Lancer or your Hammer Burst, And then your secondary is going to be the Gnasher or the sawed-off shotgun. In some games, it's a sawed-off shotgun. I think in most games, it's just the Gnasher. But then you have your pistol, which is the snub pistol, the Boltok, or the Cantus pistol.
But you
I
can
don't
like
remember what it-
customize
it's like
that,
a machine
right?
pistol. Skins.
Well, no, I'm saying like
outside
the
of that,
loadout.
there's-
Like rather you can go into the game with this
Yeah, so
Lancer and
you
this
can go
sidearm.
you can go into the game with either a Lancer, Retro Lancer, or a Hammer Burst. Maybe not the Hammer Burst. It's been a long time since I played a Gears multiplayer, but you always have a pick between a couple of guns, not a ton of guns, but a couple of guns.
And you're able to just like choose your like who you want to play as, and then
Yeah. So the
Go
one
from
thing
there.
that Gears does really well is like their characters. And
are they
there's
just
a
like the story
ton.
characters, or are they just like default?
A lot of
like,
them,
whatever.
A lot of them are story characters. Some of them are default. Like I think in Gears of War 3 or 4, you can like in multiplayer, you can play just a regular gear, just some.
Oh, just
gear
some run of the mill
private or something.
dude.
Yeah,
That's
just
a
some
part.
run of the mill unit. Yeah, but I mean, and if you want to do that, you can. But basically, I mean, you a lot of the characters are introduced in the story, and a lot of those story characters are playable in multiplayer.
So I didn't know if you can
Even
like
some
play
of,
as
like,
like
the canonically
Marcus,
dead
or
ones.
if you can play as
Yep.
well,
You
like
play
other
as you can play as Marcus, you can play as Dom, Cole, Baird, Jace. You can play as Anya, Sam, Hoffman. You can play as Prescott.
No, what about
any
with,
of
like, the
locusts?
I was about
Yeah.
to say, because isn't there like special locusts?
Yeah. So in Gears of War, the Locust, you in the campaign you meet all, or not meet, you kill all kinds of different variety of locusts, which include just a normal locust grunt. There's also locust grenadiers. There's armored locust. There's the Cantus. There's armored Cantus. There's hive guards. There's all kinds of. There's locust snipers. There's all kinds of different
Okay.
locusts that you run into.
Isn't
but
there
there's
like
also
a
special
berserk type one or something like that?
Yeah, but the berserker is a like monster. You can't play a berserker. But
Oh, okay.
you can also play locusts like Queen Mira. You can play General Rom. You can play.
Oh, so they have story
the guy
characters
from
like what they.
2. Yeah. So like the big generals in all of the Gears games usually are playable as locust characters.
Yeah, but they don't have any
all
special
of those characters.
things or anything.
All of those characters in the game also have different skins. You know what I mean? So like all of those characters also you can change their outfits and stuff to them.
But you said there's no perks, no power ups, no nothing. So it's just straight up a arena shooter
Not,
like Halo.
Not in standard versus. No, I think in the later iterations of Gears of War, you could get perks in like Horde mode or there's another game mode that they have. I don't remember what it's called.
Now is
but-
it just like team deathmatch, or is it like hold the point, or what?
They
what
have
modes
they have
do
a
got
pretty
there?
big roster of game modes. There's Warzone, there's Capture the Flag, there's King of the Hill.
See, capture.
there's,
I've said it numerous of times on the show. Bring back Capture the Flag. Put Capture the Flag in games more, because Capture
Yep,
the
and then
Flag is
there's
a
your
very
classic-
mixed.
I don't remember what it's called, but there's one like Domination, whereas there's the 1 point, you hold that 1 point. There's the VIP game mode. There's an infection type game mode, I'm pretty sure. There's a search and destroy type game mode. They have a pretty big roster of game modes.
That'd be cool, like a search and destroy mode on that. Because like Call of Duty, that's like the only game mode that I play. I literally
it's
only.
a standard 5v5. In your team deathmatch type thing, it's 15 respawns apiece, and then it gets down to the final 5 when you run out of respawns.
Oh, so
that's
but
where
it's not like
that's where it's a little different than team deathmatch. Is their team deathmatch is 15 respawns per team, and then it becomes a search and destroy. So once those 15 respawns are gone, you have to hunt down the rest. You have to hunt down the 5 people to actually win the game.
See, I like that kind of shit more than I like just here's the score, reach it kind of thing. You know what I mean? Because that gives it a little bit more stake to play. Because it's like with
it gives you an opportunity to clutch. You know what I'm saying? is like it's a 1v5, right? You can absolutely clutch that. I've seen it happen, and it's wild. And nothing gets the heart pumping more than gibbing 3 people in a row.
Well, that's exactly why
uncomparable, dude.
That's exactly why I play Search and Destroy, because like I don't know how many times, like playing the new Modern Warfare 2, how many times I played a game of Search with Brandon, and it was a 1v6. It was just me and the whole other team, and I clutched the whole thing. And dude, I thought I was gonna have a panic attack. You know what I mean? My heart was going so fast,
dude. I'm telling you, if you get good at gears, man, if you get good at wall bouncing, slide canceling, then slide animating, and if you just get good at active reloading, even like
you just get good.
If you just get good at that game, nothing will beat like Gears multiplayer. This is why Call of Duty never does it for me. Halo multiplayer doesn't do it for me, but Gears multiplayer, dude, nothing gets the heart beating faster than just gibbing and gibbing, bro. It's so fun.
Yeah, no, I do like that aspect of it. It looks fun. I want to try it. Is it on the console game? I mean, the PC Game Pass?
Oh, I'm sure they are.
I have to check it out. I need to get the PC Game Pass. Annie says, just get good, bro. Exactly.
That's right.
Yep. You're not wrong. It's still very small, so we'll do that. I'll have to fix it.
every single Gears is on PC Game Pass.
Sweet. No, I'll have to try it out because like that does sound fun.
If you want to play the multiplayer, play Gears of War 5.
Yeah, I wouldn't. If I was, I wouldn't go back to any of the old ones to play the multiplayer. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure it's a lot. 1, the servers probably aren't even up. 2, I'm sure the newest one has all the better features and it's more well-rounded. You know what I mean? Than
That's the one they really focus on right now, at least until the new one comes out, which will be, I think, August. Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot they're making a new one. So in the vein of the story, what is like the main premise?
Gears of War 2 and Gears of War 3 are not on PC Game Pass, but 4, 5, and Gears Tactics, if you're into that, are on PC Game Pass.
But give me like a quick synopsis of like the story. Like why are the locusts there? Are they just like some intrusive species that's trying to take over the world?
Okay, so the whole story takes place on a planet called Sera. It's not on Earth, albeit they're pretty similar. But it takes place on a planet called Sera. And the locusts live underground, and they have been living underground and I'm sure they said an amount of time, but I don't know off the top of my head.
Now, do the humans, are they aware of these people, or did they just
they are not aware of the locusts for quite some time. So basically,
not even like history books and shit like that, like kind of thing. Like they're not like
not as far as I know.
Okay.
No, but so basically, the humans were fighting each other over a newfound resource for fuel called emulsion. It was used to replace fossil fuels, and emulsion was just more efficient. So the Coalition of Order Government, or the COG, started a war, or they were in a war with the UIR, the United something Republic or something like that. Basically, it was just a bunch of nations that wasn't the coalition. They started this war, which was called the Pendulum Wars. And then around the end of the Pendulum Wars, when the UIR surrendered, I think it was like a few years that there was just peace. And then came Emergence Day. Now, Emergence Day is when the locusts came from underground, and it was a huge surprise attack, and they wiped out hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people.
So the locusts are just like a whole ass civilization underneath the ground.
They are just a whole alien species that
has been living underneath their feet for fucking.
They say alien species, but they are from Sera. They were born and lived on Sera. I don't know that it's ever mentioned that they came from some weird spaceship or whatever, but I highly doubt that. I think they were born on Sera, lived in Sera, just under the ground.
So are the humans people taking over that planet kind of thing? Like maybe like the locusts, like that was their planet type shit? Or
Again,
I know I'm
as far
asking a
as I
lot
know,
of deep questions in there, but
as far as I know, they just were coexisting. You know what I mean? They just existed. You know what I mean? The humans existed, the locust existed. You know what I mean? So like I don't think there was any like which one came first, the chicken or the egg type situation. Yeah, I think they were just both there, you know. So emergence day, the locust attack, and it wasn't until even like game 2 that you learn why they attacked, which was because of emulsion, like specifically. Because the locusts lived underground, they were exposed to emulsion quite frequently, like all the time. You know what I mean? So emulsion was infecting these locusts' body and becoming the lambent. And the lambent were driving the locust out from underground, basically taking their home away from them. So the locusts had nowhere else to go. So they decided to come to the surface, and thus begins the Locust Wars. And then like you play, I think a lot of Gears, like all of Gears 3 is during the Lambent takeover underground and the Locust on the surface. I don't think there's even a bit of Gears of War 3. I mean, there might be a little bit, but I think there's not even a little bit of Gears 3 played underground anymore. But basically, the Lambent take over the Locust hive, and the Lambent are now above ground. So not only are you fighting the Lambent, you are also fighting the Locust survivors in Gears of War 3. So
you'd think that the locusts would just work with the humans and push back them.
But they're the reason this war started, and there's no shot we're just going to be okay with siding with the people who have killed countless of human people. I mean, and I'm going to backtrack here a little bit. So basically the Pendulum War started, but the one of the reasons the Pendulum Wars ended was because the UIR came up with a mass destructive weapon. It wasn't a nuke. It was called the Hammer of Dawn. Basically, you use this weapon to call down a huge ass satellite beam, and as long as the satellites were above the area you were aiming at, it just cleared everything in sight. So basically,
so it's like a fucking orbital laser and Helldivers.
Yeah, it's just an orbital cannon, basically, but as a big ass laser. So we took that technology away from the UIR, and the UIR then surrendered because that was their means to end the war, because they were losing. And then when the Locust War started, we scorched basically most of our planet to kill the locusts using the Hammer of Dawn. And like, I think one of a few cities remained after we scorched the planet.
So the locusts were just like, it was one of those things that they weren't maybe like technologically advanced. There's a lot of them kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that they are much stronger than humans and, you know, whatever.
I wouldn't say like the standard locusts are stronger than humans, but they're not as brittle, you know, but all at the same time, they had like monstrous things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They had a corpser. A corpser is basically a big ass locust spider. It's like the size of 2-story building. And the Brumach, the Brumach was this bipedal, big ass tank thing, right? So it was this
Metal Gear.
Had 2 feet, 2 arms, and the size of, again, like a 4 to 5-story building, and they strapped cannons to its arms and like Gatling gun cannons, and it would just wipe out shit, dude. And it had this big old like explosive cannon on the top that was operated by another locust. And like I said, they had these monstrous things that, you know, on their side to like, especially during like a surprise attack when we didn't have like our military
defenses or anything.
Yeah, military defenses in place and all of that shit. They just, because the locusts again come from underground, so they have these things called emergence holes, where these corpsers were digging holes up to the surface and then units would just pour out of it. You know what I'm saying? So it was a huge tactical advantage for the Locust to just be able to pop up basically anywhere. And again, this was the start of the Locust War. And then like you get to like, I think it's like 14 years after the start of the Locust War that you actually play Gears of War 1. In Gears of War 1, your whole goal is to take the resonator to the heart of the Locust Hive to map it out, to deliver a light mass bomb. And the light mass bomb was designed to wipe out all of the Locusts.
So when it comes to the games, is it like a linear story thing, or is it like, oh, 1's actually 5 and 5's actually 2 and 3's 1 kind of thing? Like,
they only did that with 2 games. Gears of War Judgment was a prequel. So it goes 1, 2, Gears of War 3, and then Gears of War Judgment. I could have that backwards. It could be Judgment, then 3, but I think it's 3 and then Judgment. And then it's 4, 5, and Tactics. And Tactics came out after 5, but it's a prequel to all of them. Yeah.
So 1 is actually 1,
No.
2 is 2, 3 is 3. So Judgment, the offshoot, the one that actually doesn't have a number, is the only like prequel game.
Right.
But everything happens
And
after
Gears of War Tactics is played a lot like XCOM, and that comes right. I think Gears of War Tactics takes place before Judgment does. So
Okay.
canonically, in order, it's Gears of War Tactics, Gears of War Judgment, 1 through 5.
At least they got that going. You know what I mean? That's pretty
Yeah.
much Halo, because
It's-
Halo
yeah,
Wars,
it's
Halo
not very
Wars
confusing.
is exactly that. Halo Wars is a prequel to all of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
And then Halo Wars 2, I think, is a prequel to one of the games.
yeah, and then you have Reach, which is before 1, and then going on from there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I did.
Reach. I think Reach is before. No,
Reach-
yeah, Reach is just before 1.
Yeah,
But yeah, Halo Wars is before all of them.
yeah.
But anyways, so yeah, your whole goal in Gears of War 1 is to take the resonator and deliver it to the hive of the Locust, and then basically deploy a light mass bomb to blow it up. By the end of the game, you learn that none of that did anything really. They're just going to endure, as Queen Mira says at the end of the game. This is not a fight for something, it's a fight for survival or some shit like that. And then like Gears of War 2. Gears of War 2 takes place a year after Gears of War. And then so you are in Jacinto. And Jacinto is the last basically the only place that the Locusts cannot dig into with their corpsers, because underneath Jacinto is a bunch of granite. And I don't know why we determined granite was the thing that they can't dig through, but whatever.
Here we are.
Here we are. So Jacinto is an entire city built on a plateau of granite. So they are safe there mostly. And then later on in the game, you learn that they have a thing, a big ass thing called a rift worm. And a rift worm was able to, basically a rift worm was as tall as that skyscraper in Dubai. You know what I'm saying? The tallest skyscraper in the world. It was that tall and about as wide as that skyscraper too. So basically they were using this rift worm to cut big ass circles around these cities to then sink them into the ground and kill everyone inside of it, or make it easier for them to kill it. So their whole goal, the Locust goal, was to use this rift worm to cut around Jacinto to then sink Jacinto, and that being the last human bastion, right?
This gives me SpongeBob like vibes.
Yeah,
Of, we would just take
exactly
the city and put it over here.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of SpongeBob, they have a worm in SpongeBob that's pretty close to the worm in Gears of War 2.
Fucking, what was that worm called? I don't even remember.
I don't remember.
Damn.
But anyway, so they were using the worm to cut holes or to basically dig around it so that the city would just fall through.
Not a bad idea.
So Jacinto did not fall, surprisingly, but a city called Ilima City falls. And when Ilima City falls, you are then sucked into this worm as your squad, which was Marcus, Dom, Baird, and Cole. Right. Yeah. Well, no, they had Carmine with them. I don't remember who was missing or who wasn't. But anyways, so basically you get sucked into this worm. The worm eats you, right? And then you have to cut its arteries to then drown itself in its own blood.
Pretty brutal.
Talk about brutal,
yeah,
dude.
That's pretty brutal.
You get out of this worm after like basically drowning yourself in this worm's blood, right? You cut through it, and at the other side, just a fountain of blood sweeps you out into it, and every character's just head to toe blood, dude, and it's so fucking gross.
Damn. That's
but
brutal.
anyways, with the rift worm down, you then go back underground to deliver yet another light mass missile bomb into what you think is another hideout of.
Now, when it comes into playing the games and stuff like that, do they get repetitive? Is it the same shit over and over, or
so in Gears of War 2?
Good?
So Gears of War 1 and Gears of War 2 they're pretty repetitive, you know. But in Gears of War 3, very different. They're not like Gears of War 3. I'll get to Gears of War 3 in a minute, but no, Gears of War 2, they are pretty similar, but none of the rest of them are the same after that. So Gears of War 2, you have to go back underground to deliver another light mass missile, and then end of the game. You know what I mean? You discover that the Lambent are taking over the Locust hive and pushing. They're the reason that the Locusts are pushing above ground. You also learn that Marcus's dad has some type of relationship with the Queen of the Locusts.
The fuck?
Yeah. A lot of people think it's like a sexual relationship
because
Queen Mira is. Now, I could be wrong about this. I think she's like half human and kind of hot.
Like hot in that weird she's gonna kill you way.
They really accentuate her boobs in those games.
I'm sure. Like it's like 2012, so I'm sure.
I mean, there's no cleavage or anything, but like the breastplate she wears, there's clear like boob cutouts. You know what I mean? But
clear boobage.
A lot of people do think Queen Mira is hot, but basically Marcus's dad, Adam was working on a way to destroy the Lambent to save the Locusts, so they can continue living underground and not fucking with the humans, and kind of like trying to do the right thing, but you know,
he ended up fucking
for the wrong reasons, I guess. Yeah, probably that. I don't remember if they had like an actual relationship, but you know, they had a relationship. You know what I mean?
But pen pals.
Yeah, it could be. Anyway, so you learn that Adam had been working with Mira to try to take care of the Lambent and save the Locusts, so the war never started. Well, Adam was taking too long in coming up with this, and then Adam sends out this missive to Marcus. And this is like the beginning of Gears of War 3.
He's like, "Hey, I found you a new stepmom. She's a little rough around the edges, but she makes your dad happy.
Kind of.
Do it for the poon." And he says,
trying to lampoon some locust poon.
Jesus.
So yeah, so Gears
of
War 2.
That look cussy, you know what I mean?
Gears of War 2. So okay, real quick. Marcus had thought his dad had been dead this whole time, because Marcus had tried to, in the past, there was a flashback in Gears of War 3 that, you know, Marcus had disobeyed orders and was arrested and tried for treason and shit like that. It got sentenced to 40 years in the brig. And then, like, he tried saving his dad, and he thought his dad died during that flashback, which was the beginning of Gears of War 3. But in Gears of War 2, you learn that Adam is still alive. And Marcus goes back to his house to look for him, but he also needed some type of device for the Hammer of Dawn to then strike. Anyway, this is all whatever. Gears of War 3 starts, right? You do the flashback, and then you get the missive from Adam explaining that he'd been working with Queen Mira to try to fix the Lambent situation, and he needed to go to some place to then meet with his dad so he can explain. Gears of War 3 happens. It's basically all the same shit, but on the surface. The locusts are up there and they've gone completely savage. And then you get introduced to a thing called the Retro Lancer. So, the Lancer is just like a fucking AR with a chainsaw at the end, right?
Yeah.
The Retro Lancer is the same thing, but instead of a chainsaw, it's got a big ass knife. It's a bayonetta instead.
No.
And I was like, this is a clear downgrade. What's happening here?
This sucks.
But then, yeah.
But like, in game wise, does the Retro Lancer like does it hit harder? Does it do more damage or something?
So in game, yeah, it does a bit more damage. It has a lot more recoil and it has a smaller ammo count. Okay. And I think a smaller magazine. But it does do more damage. It's shot. You got to burst fire it, or the recoil is really going to get ahead of you.
Okay, that's what I was saying. Like, if you're going to downgrade the gun, then
yeah. So it was a downgrade for the campaign, and multiplayer is still a viable option. You know what I mean? But instead of like the chainsaw, you get a bayonet charge, which is still an instant execution, like it was with the Lancer. You just chainsaw him in half, but with the bayonetta, you charge into him and you like basically skewer him with the bayonet and you kill him instantly. It's pretty wild. So in multiplayer, it's still a viable thing. In campaign, I'd never use it. I hate using it, especially if you're playing on insane difficulty. I think it sucks. I think the Lancer is just better in every way. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So Gears of War 3 happens. A bunch of there's really no world building other than you do visit a city that was scorched by the Hammer of Dawn, and there's like, it's a wasteland of just ashen bodies. Like, because when you get hit by the Hammer of Dawn, typically it turns you into bits, right? But I guess for this lore stance that they were taking, they were just like just human bodies that were just ash. So if you bumped into them, they just poofed and just turned into an ash cloud.
Yeah.
But they were just a bunch of human bodies sitting there, and you learn you go through this city and it's super sad and shit because I don't think anybody up to that point really knew how much damage the Hammer of Dawns were actually doing. And then you talk to a leader of a human faction, and I think they call the humans that aren't a part of the COG another thing.
Liberals. I always find some way to bring that in there. So yeah. I had a question, but I forgot what I was saying. So is like the entire planet or world, or just those cities, those local cities, like just fucked? You know what I mean? Like, is this like an apocalyptic type situation, or?
Oh yeah. There's no cities that aren't a part of the COG anymore. Every city that is known is part of the COG. And the only city left in Gears of War, Gears of War 3, Jacinto actually does like fall because so it wasn't a light mass missile in Gears of War 3. They just Hammer of Dawn the fuck out of the thing. And then like there's no human cities left. So in Gears of War 3, you take to the seas. You get yourself a big ass boat, and everybody that's still alive is on that boat, or decided to leave and join Hoffman in his fort. And then the fort falls later on in the game, so everybody is now like just traipsing on the ground because the boat's now gone too. In the beginning of the game, you lose the boat to a Leviathan, which is a big ass sea creature, basically a kraken without the tentacles.
Now is that Leviathan? Now is that a locust, or is that the other?
There is, so the Leviathan is,
or is that just a wild creature? Or is it like a wild?
Leviathan? I think the Leviathan might be just a wild creature, but somehow works with the Locust in Gears of War 2, because the Locusts had these boats that were taking them from one of their cities to another underground city, and because the Leviathan was in an underground lake, it was they were taking boats back and forth, but all of their boats were still intact. And then like you get to a section of the game where you have to fight off a Leviathan and actually kill it. And then Gears of War 3, you see another Leviathan, but this Leviathan was lambent. So I think it's just a wild creature that just was okay with the Locust. I'm not really sure.
So,
But
go ahead. The lambent are basically infected locusts, right?
the lambent, the lambent are also infected humans. The lambent is emulsion. Emulsion is a living substance. Emulsion infects things to the cellular level and changes locust and humans into lambent.
So now, are the lambent, are they cognitive, or are they just like feral creatures?
They're pretty feral. I don't think the lambent have a leader at all. They just kind of kill everything.
Okay, so it is a literal infection that's just...
Think of it, okay, Halo terms, it's the flood.
Okay.
The flood infects things. It's the same concept.
Well,
right?
the flood has that hive mind, though.
Right. It's the same concept, but without
in a
leadership.
very
There's no
base.
hive mind. Yeah, there's no hive mind or anything like that. The lambent are just out to murder shit. They don't care about anything
they're like
else.
feral ghouls, basically.
Yeah, basically, yeah. They just want to murder everything.
Okay. And that infection is just... I'm getting myself caught up to where we're at. So that the lambent, that shit basically started corrupting the locusts and everything, and just the locusts had their own zombie apocalypse underground, forcing them to come up. They're pissed off at the humans because they feel that they started it because they started digging for that shit, and so they were like, all right, you caused this to cause it, and that caused this, and that caused us to have to leave our home, so we're gonna take your home. And then it just started the whole fucking all-out war. But then at the same time, the lambent is just overgrowing both the locusts and the humans, right?
Yeah, the lambent are taking.
So essentially,
killing both.
The locusts aren't winning this, basically, but the lambent are. The lambent are slowly taking everything. Like the locusts will win a battle with the humans, or vice versa, and then the lambent just come in and say "fuck y'all" and take it all over.
Yeah.
So at
the same time, anything that comes into contact with emotion on the surface or underground, locust or human, eventually do turn into lambent. So it's a constant thing of everything that's already lambent is killing everything, but also things are also still turning into lambent. So it's like a double front situation, you know what I mean? You might take care of the lambent over here, but the more lambent are being created by fucking with emotion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and so that's where it begs the question, like why the locusts and the humans don't just work together to take care of the lambent and then figure their shit out afterwards. It's kind of like with the Arbiter and, Master Chief.
Well, yeah, but even in Halo, they even kind of work with the Flood to take care of, the Covenant.
Yeah, because the
Brutes,
Flood.
anyways.
Yeah, because they end up getting their own collective same enemy kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Gears, that's not an option. In Gears, there is only war. We kill Locust and we kill Lambent indiscriminately. So, and it's the same thing with both factions. I think the Locusts are just like, yeah, no, we kill humans and we kill Lambent. Lambent's just like,
okay. So pretty much everybody's just like very like,
we want,
fuck
everybody involved. Like, I want this planet. This planet's going to be mine.
There's just no thought of diplomacy or anything.
Right. Yeah. Not at all.
Well, war never changes. You know what I mean?
That's right. So Gears of War 3, basically at the end of the game, you link back up with Marcus's dad, and he has a way to destroy all Lambent and Locust at the same time, which would be eradicating emulsion. If you can eradicate emulsion, it kills all emulsion in the system, and anything that was infected with emulsion or beginning to be infected with emulsion will be wiped out with it. And Marcus's dad had been infected with emulsion. Every Lambent infected with emulsion, and most of the Locusts infected with emulsion all got wiped out. That's the end of Gears of War 3. And then Gears of War 4. The Locusts are mostly gone. The Lambent, completely gone. But a new thing has arrived. It's called the Swarm. Now, at first, I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't like the Swarm. I had no idea why the Swarm existed. It wasn't until later in the game.
To keep making games.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't until later in the game that they they actually explain why the Swarm existed. But it was one of those things where I played Gears of War 4 for like a couple hours, and I was like, I don't know where these things came from, and I have no connection to this at all. But if you actually play the game, you learn that there were surviving members of the Locust Army that created a hive mind out of Queen Mira's consciousness to then make these Swarm, which are basically they're like biological living, like they're like living things that are connected to the hive mind. This is where you get the more Flood thing, right? The Swarm then becomes basically the Flood without infecting all other things, but they're grown in these like organic cocoons. The Swarm are. They're grown in these organic cocoons and they sprout up and stuff like that. But they're also
bioengineered. They're not like organic.
They are they are bioengineered. They are organic, but they are bioengineered locusts. They're
not like
meant to replace.
They're not born. They're made.
Right. Exactly. So the Swarm, basically, this is the same thing as the locusts, right? They can come up from underground. They're grown in these cocoons, but during Gears of War 4, you don't know they exist at all. You have no idea. Basically, Mira is biding her time and growing her army again to then take Sarah. And by this time, the humans had started rebuilding. You know, we're rebuilding our cities back. We are now under the control of Chairman June or something like that. Chairman. Oh well, it says here's no.
Chairman September. Tell you what.
Okay, well, whatever. It still says Prescott, but it's not Prescott. Either way, so you're rebuilding your cities, but most of the people that are, you play as James Phoenix, which is Marcus Phoenix's son, and his buddy Jace. I don't remember his friend's name. I didn't really listen. I don't really like 4 and 5. I don't really like them a whole lot. 1 and 3 are incredible games, but 4 and 5. Not
yeah, I heard that the latest ones did not do very well.
Yeah. So basically, you play as James, who is not a part of the COG anymore. Basically, left the COG, deserted the COG with his friend, and are a part of this human faction that are just trying to live out their lives, right? Well, then their outpost gets, I guess you could say, raided, but by the Swarm. And you don't know that it's the Swarm until you try to follow you try to so basically the outpost that you're at gets invaded by the Swarm, and then you go to Marcus's house, James's dad, right? And then he gets abducted, and then you follow the abductor all the way to an old, I think it's a museum, and then like down, and then you see all these cocoons and stuff, and then you're introduced to the Swarm, and now there's this big new threat. And this is only like chapter 2 of the game, right? And then like the rest of the game, you're, fighting Swarm. And you're learning. And then you learn that the girl in the game, which I don't remember her name either, voiced by Laura Bailey, she is connected to Queen Mira in some way. And I don't remember how. And then Gears of War 5 happens, and there was an accident with a Hammer of Dawn that scorched James's arm, and he rejoined the COG, and you learn more about why the girl is connected to Mira. I think it's because, the girl is Mira's daughter, but she's completely human. But I also don't know who her dad is because I don't like Gears 4 and Gears 5 like that. So
Everybody's just fucking aliens, man. Getting weird, getting jiggy with the ETs. Let me see them titties. You know what I mean?
okay.
No, it seems. I mean, it's a pretty. Ben, he looks so sad.
You want out?
Yeah.
There? Pets.
But no, it seems like a all right story and everything. It seems fun. It seems like I'm sure the cinematics of it are pretty cool. I might have to sit there and like, if I don't play it, at least watch some of the cinematics and shit. You know, because like
Yeah.
I'm interested in Gears.
I know that I didn't get the story 100, especially 4 and 5. Like I said, I don't really like 4 and 5 that, so I don't really know what's going on with 4 and 5. I did play the games. I was very uninterested in 4. 5, I got less interested because they introduced this open world fucking like vehicle thing in 5, and I absolutely hated it.
You're like walking to each campaign, like each story, each mission and shit like that. It's no longer.
No, there's like sections of the game that it's a big ass map, and you have this vehicle that you're going to these different like points of interest to do some sort of investigation. This is where within Gears of War 5, it has its own rinse and repeat thing, right? So you'll do like a chapter or two on foot and just doing normal gear shit, and then like you'll do a chapter fucking 5 just driving around in a vehicle going to certain POIs to then like eventually go back to being on foot, and it's just rinse and repeat the whole game, and I fucking hated it.
That's what Halo Infinite did. It was a giant map and you went to each mission and shit, and I don't like that, man. I'm getting sick of that. I like I'm fine with, we've talked about it before. I'm fine with that in like games like Fallout, you know what I mean? Open world RPG games and stuff. Not something that's always been a linear story where like you just do this mission, cutscene, and because like it feels contained. Like whenever when Garrett and I were playing Halo and shit, like it just do this mission, cutscene. Do this mission, cutscene. It's just contained in its own thing. It doesn't feel like I'm just like getting lost in like whatever the environment that I'm going in. It's just like I just want to do this, and I want to play this story. I want to go on a ride. I don't want to go on an adventure. If I want to go on an adventure, I'll go play Fallout, or I'll do that, because then I can just go do whatever and then have fun and shit.
Real quick to culminate the story, basically, Kate Diaz in Gears of War 4 and 5 is the daughter of Reyna and Gabriel Diaz, but she is the granddaughter of Queen Mira, the Queen of the Locusts, and now she has a connection to the hive mind that the Swarm use.
So she knows what's going on.
Yeah. So somebody straight up banged Mira and made little baby Reyna, and Reyna is the mother of Kate. Kate is now the granddaughter of Mira.
So it skipped a generation. Damn.
Maybe Reyna dies in the beginning of Gears 4.
Oh, so maybe she was connected. And just didn't.
Maybe she was, maybe she wasn't. I don't really know. Maybe they confirmed it. Maybe they didn't. Again, I wasn't very interested in 4 and 5. They're kind of boring ass games.
Yeah. No. So I mean, yeah, that pisses me off knowing about that, because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of that games like that, man. Just take me down a fucking story. Like, take me down a ride.
I mean, the story is good. Like, I don't have a problem with the story.
Yeah, I'm not saying that the story is bad, because like I'm not necessarily saying that the story in Halo Infinite's bad. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm just saying that the way that you play it,
mechanically it's just not fun.
Yeah, like it makes me not care to learn about the story, because I don't like playing like that. I don't like that play style. I like to just certain games. I just want to, like I said, I want to be taken for a ride, not go on a ride. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like let me contain me. Give me this little
contain me.
like put me in this little thing and let me do whatever. then take me on to the
That's
next
why-
thing.
That's why I'm such a big fan of linear games. You know, like Gears of War 1 through 3 are all linear games, right? It's just when you do linear games like Gears of War Judgment, brother. Gears of War Judgment, right, is stage based, right? But they also added this mechanic. I don't remember, classifieds. They added a mechanic called classifieds, which like at the beginning of every level, it would add like a spice. You know what I mean? Like a spice to the level, which would just make it fucking harder or way more annoying than it should have been. And a lot of the achievements were tied to those. A lot of like the multiplayer progression, or not progression, but a lot of the multiplayer like unlocks were tied to those. So like you kind of had to do them.
Yeah.
And it was so annoying to just do them. It was like, I hated every minute of, I will never play Judgment again. I just played it again recently, as you know. I played all the Gears of War except 4 and 5. I refused to play them, and I'm sorry, but I played all the Gears of War again, including Judgment, and Judgment is by far the absolute worst Gears of War game, and it's not even close. I will play 4 and 5 again before I play fucking Judgment.
Which one is 5 the latest one, or is Judgment the latest one?
5 is the latest one up until August this year.
Yeah. Yeah, look at the whole linear thing. Like I just don't.
There are some like lore points in Judgment that they make, and like some loopholes that they fill, which is cool. But at the same time, like
the mechanics of a game
will
make or break a game. Like no matter how good of a story you have.
They radically changed the controllers in Gears of War, and I never got used to it. I never got used to playing it like at all, because in Gears of War you used a D-pad to change your weapons. You know, left was your main, right was your sight, your Gnasher, down was your pistol, and up was your grenade, right? In Gears of War Judgment, you pushed Y, like every other shooter, right? I understand it's every other shooter, but when you've been playing every Gears game and you radically change the control system like that, it sucked. I hated it.
Yeah, it kind of
pushed Y you pushed Y to change your weapon. You no longer had a sidearm. The pistols were transferred into being primaries because you can only choose 2 weapons. You can only have 2 weapons on you at the same time, and you would never pick up a pistol unless you took one of those fucking dumbass classifieds, and you were forced to use a fucking pistol. Your grenades were no longer a D-pad option. They were tied to LB.
So it was like a quick release thing. It wasn't like an item that you switched to. I see a lot of like older games used to do that, to where like your grenades weren't ever, even some of the older Call of Duties did it. Like your grenades aren't like what they are now, where it's just like you press the button and you throw it. It's like, no, you had to switch to it and then press the trigger to throw it. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing, is like, if it was Gears of War, Gears 2, Gears 3, it was always that. But they always kept it like that because the grenades in Gears of War, the standard frag grenade had spikes at the top of it. So you could also plant them on the wall. You could like swing it, stick it to the wall, and it then becomes a mine. So when things walk past it, it blows up. You know what I mean? Or you could just stick it to a motherfucker and it blows up. You know what I mean? They always kept it that way for that specific reason. In Gears of War Judgment, it was so annoying to try to get it to stick to shit. It was because you had to hold LB while moving around. Imagine on a controller, right? Holding LB, moving your sticks around, to then releasing LB at the right time. I fucking hated it. It was so annoying to play.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. Like, gaming mechanics or even controller schemes will like make or break a game, no matter how good a story it is. Like, it's like, because like I'll take Fallen Order for example, the Star Wars game. Story's really good. I hate the way that it plays though. Like, I don't like the combat's all right.
Thing.
But like, what'd you say?
You don't like the Souls-like thing?
Well, I don't mind Souls-like games. I just felt like every fucking stage was the same thing. It just felt repetitive, like
Yeah,
real. Like
I mean-
I don't know if maybe it changes later on, but it just
It
just was
does.
not fun.
It does because you
beginning
unlock
parts of the
more.
game.
You unlock more. I mean, yes and no. I mean, I can't really speak to it because I thought the game was incredibly boring. But
Yeah, it was not fun. Like I enjoyed the story a lot, and like I
mean,
see.
I thought it's like Cal Kestis I think is a good character,
Yeah,
but the story was good. It's just the gameplay. I don't mind Souls-like at all. The combat was super fun, but it was just I don't know, dude. It was just not fun because there were these sections of parkour, right?
yeah,
And this is the rinse and repeat thing, right? There were always huge sections of parkour followed by combat, and then you kind of just did it again and again and again. You know what I mean? And if you died, you go back to checkpoint and do it all over again. You know, it just got on my
I
damn
don't know.
nerves.
Yeah, maybe I need to take because I mean, like obviously that like the way that if you describe it like that, that's literally every game ever, and it's every game that we grew up with because you play Call of Duty, you die, you go back to the checkpoint, shit like that. But like,
No, but this is different. It's different because it's a Souls like. So not
Yeah.
only are you dying and going back to checkpoint, but everything that you killed thus far has been respawned.
yeah, and like you lost shit too.
Yeah.
And if you die
Yeah.
before you get that shit again, you lost all of it, like entirely.
I don't.
I don't think there was
maybe-
like souls like
It's been
that, but
it's been a long time since I played the game, but I don't know that is a thing in the game. It could very well be. I don't remember, but I remember like if you meditated at a spot, everything respawned again. If you died, you had to go back to checkpoint, everything respawned again. So like
yeah,
if you got stuck on this one section of doing parkour, fighting something, you had to go do all that parkour again, fight it, maybe die again, do the parkour again. It's like I got, dude, Kashyyyk fucking sucked. I hated doing Kashyyyk so much.
yeah. I don't know. Like it was something that I would have to sit. I did sit down and start playing it again not too long ago, but then I stopped it immediately again. So I don't know. Maybe if I can get into it and get my love back for Star Wars, because I will say my love for Star Wars has definitely, I've said before, has depleted. You know what I mean?
What I would do, I mean, if I'm gonna be genuine with you, I would literally just watch a video on Jedi
Yeah, the cutscenes and
Fallen
shit.
Order, and then I would play Jedi Survivor because Jedi Survivor is a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I want to give it a go. But yeah, no, Gears, that's another game. I do want to give it a go. Whenever I get the Game Pass, I got my Xbox
man,
controller
like,
down here by me. I'll
I'm-
fucking plug it in and give it a go.
Like I said earlier, if you want to play the story, unfortunately you're gonna have to get a console because Gears 1 through 3 are not on Game
yeah.
Pass. But I mean, the multiplayer is very fun in Gears 5, very fun, and Horde mode is very fun in Gears 5.
Yeah, because like I'm on like this kick right now of like
Trying new games.
trying a whole bunch of new shit because like for people that know me and like I've talked about it on the channel, like I'm already in a mode. I'm in a mood of like I don't know what the hell to play. But also like I'm in a mood like I've always for a long time been in a mood of like spending time on a game. Usually that's why I would keep Fortnite downloaded or Call of Duty downloaded because I was like I just couldn't keep my brain into a game where like I'm not just doing shit the whole time. You know what I mean? Like I got to be
Yeah.
doing shit. Got super into
Yeah.
Project Zomboid, and that carried me for a while. And I'm trying other things and trying new
think,
types of games. And
I think like you're playing games, and when you find one that you enjoy playing, you burn yourself out on it.
yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of things.
That's what I'm notorious. I am so notorious at doing that if I enjoy a game, I don't want to put it down until I physically cannot play the game anymore.
Yeah, I think that's like a little bit of Project Zomboid where I'm just like I got a little sick of it. And like I'm trying new things of like Vermintide. We're playing that. Granted, I'm very used to
fun.
very used to a game like that because it's literally just Left 4 Dead, but it's different mechanics and shit like that. And I'm trying to.
Yeah, here's the thing. Now I understand why people say it's like Left 4 Dead because it is like Left 4 Dead.
Well, the base
but
of the
they're
game is
so
there's more
so
to it.
different, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much.
They're
more to it.
extremely different. I do recognize that. I'm just saying like the base of the game is
Yeah, and I
You
mean,
know.
it's not like I care that people say it. It doesn't bug me. It's just like
Because it's not that it's
own
not true,
entity.
but it is its own thing.
It's its own thing. You know what I mean? Now, I mean, if you were to say like Vermintide and Darktide are the same thing, it's like, yeah, it's kind of in the name. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, because like genuinely they are. You know,
One's
Vermintide
just like
and Darktide they're made by the same company. They play basically the same exact way. You know,
just different
it's
themes.
just different themes. It's
One's
really the big
more
difference.
there's vermin, so you got rats, and the other one's dark, so you got like what creatures and shit like that. So
Well, so
demons or whatever.
sort of. So Vermintide, right, it's not just rats. It started out just rats mostly. And then you get later into the game and you find out that there's a faction called the Northerners or the Norskins, Norsika, and they are humans that are just corrupted by a god called Nurgle.
Nurgle.
And then in Darktide, basically everything that you fight is infected by Nurgle. So they're different, but
Same realm.
pretty similar. I mean, the difference being is that there's a lot more shooting at you than there is in Vermintide. There's a lot more guns.
Yeah, because I mean, Vermintide's more like
Darktide,
medieval type, whatever.
medieval Vermintide. The best way to sum it up is like medieval gunpowder. You know what I mean?
High fantasy type shit. Well,
Yeah.
Darktide's more space, steampunk kind of shit.
If you guys know the difference, it's Warhammer Fantasy versus Warhammer 40K. That's the difference there.
But yeah, back to Gears. It's always been something that I've never like shot out. Like I'm like I would never play this. Will says Vermintide, Warhammer Fantasy, Darktide, Warhammer. Yeah. Where Gears is not something I would necessarily just like check out. You know what I mean? Like I'm just like I'd never play it. It's just one of those things. I heard Vermintide. Of course you did, Garrett. Of course you fucking did. But
hey, Garrett, we were actually talking about you a little ago. You were playing Darktide because a new character just got released, and Will, the dude that just typed right before you, who's like, "Who's the guy who keeps asking to play Vermintide?" I was like, "That's Garrett," and he was like, we got another one to play with." Will loves Vermintide. He loves Vermintide a lot more than he does Darktide. Vermintide is his jam. He loves that shit. So.
But
we're gonna be playing a lot more Vermintide, brother.
He's excited about that one. Yeah, so like Gears is not something I would necessarily like check out, you know what I mean, like off my list where I'm like I blacked out for a decent minute. Playing the game or in the show, like watching. I don't know. Yeah, it's not something I'd cross off my list where I'm like I'll never play it. It's been one of those things where I played it that one time 13 years ago or however long.
Give me a
And
second, I gotta let Benny out of the room.
something that I played 13 years ago and just never picked up after that. You know what I mean? It was, it just wasn't relatively like available to me. You know what I mean? Because like I said, like earlier, my father just never bought another one of them. And because like I was, how old was I 13 years ago? Young. So we just never had it. I never personally went and bought one myself, like another one of the games, and so it just wasn't relatively available for me to play or get a hold of and to continue anything, because I did enjoy playing it. It was fun. It was different, especially around the time. It was cool, like slaughtering these alien bug things or whatever, and all the creatures were cool. But, so I do want to give it a go. I still have an Xbox somewhere. I don't know where. But actually, no, I'm pretty sure it's still at your place. It's on a shelf, I think.
What?
I thought.
Is it an Xbox One?
It's a white Xbox One. I don't know.
I mean, I have my old Xbox One. I don't know that you have one here.
I don't know. I have one. I have it somewhere. It's somewhere. But I have an Xbox One, so maybe I'll have to dust that fucker off.
Unless it's in that closet right there. I don't know where it would be, because every shelf in here. Or
No, I think I thought maybe I'm confusing yours with mine. Maybe it's out in the garage somewhere. I don't fucking know. I know I have it somewhere.
Maybe my white Xbox One has a bunch of stickers on it and marker. So
You know, mine's clean. I don't have nothing on it.
yeah, I was gonna say I tricked my ride, bro.
No, but yeah, no, if I ever get the opportunity to play it and everything, you know, or maybe I'll just like watch the cutscenes and shit like that for it and like get myself caught up. Cause like,
Yeah, I mean that's a good thing. Yeah, I would. I mean, there's plenty of videos out there that like summarize the whole.
oh yeah, I
world.
mean, there's videos out there for literally any video game, even
Yeah,
like some
yeah.
bootleg
mean,
shit game.
Like if you want to watch one that's just cutscenes, those are pretty readily available because like if you want to play the story to 4 and 5, by all means do it. Just know that 5, like 4's gameplay is traditional Gears of War, right? But 5, they tried doing something different. And I mean it might not be for me. It could be for you. I know some people do enjoy Gears 5 story. It is actually Gears 3, 4, and 5 are 4-player co-op in campaign, which I didn't realize that until very recently. So I mean, because Gears of War has always been like notorious for having couch co-op ability and online co-op ability, especially for campaign, which is a dying thing, and I hate it so much. But
Yeah, like game companies, you guys need to bring back like, well, it's because like they stopped
Bring
doing
back
it.
couch co-op.
If you ever get to couch co-op, is the best experience for Gears of War 1
Yeah,
to 3.
yeah.
Well, no, because like they all.
So basically, me and Will stayed up for an entire weekend playing Gears of War 1 and 2, just straight up. Gears of War 3, I think, was coming out that year. Yeah, dude. Me and Will spent a lot of time playing Gears of War.
No, the game
Marcus,
companies.
my wife. Marcus, fuck my wife.
Yeah, wasn't there like a Martha thing in, like
Martha?
like I say Martha thing because like how in Batman versus Superman they stopped fighting because their name they had the same mother's name.
Yeah, there's nothing like that.
Oh, I thought there was. I thought there was some stupid storyline thing that people gave shit about.
In Gears of War 2, you are told that Dominic Santiago, which is your BFF forever, or Marcus's BFF forever, is married to Maria, and you spend a good half of the game. Dom is looking for his wife, and once you get underground, you realize that the locusts had been capturing and torturing people. You find a good friend of yours, Ty Caliso, really beat up from all the torture, cut up, and he actually gets demonetized by himself with a shotgun. And
Slip and slide.
just moving on just a little bit from that, you actually do eventually find Dom's wife in a canister. She had been tortured and, pretty beat up. And Dom actually has to end her life as well because she no longer spoke. She had no recollection of who he was or what was going on. So I don't know. I don't know that people had an issue with that storyline.
There was some. I just remember that there was something. There was something that people were like memeing that happened in like one of the games. I think that was borderline, like that Martha situation where like they were fighting or some shit. I don't know. I could be completely wrong. I could be thinking of something else. But yeah, with the whole couch co-op thing, no, game companies stopped doing that because they're greedy little fuckers. Because they're tired of people like they're like, if we get rid of couch co-op, then they're gonna have to buy another copy of this. You know what I mean? And force people to have to buy more copies and shit. That's why they stopped doing couch co-op, because game developers are greedy.
So the situation that you're talking about, it apparently has something to do with with the creation of Queen Mira's embryonic stem cells, known as UL119-2. She's the first locust hybrid created from Queen Mira and sire DNA, which you learn of sires in Gears of War 2, and they never did anything with it past that until Gears of War 5, apparently. I have no idea, because this is all Gears of War 5 stuff, and I don't know that.
Who the hell knows? Yeah, I just remember there was some sort of like, I thought there was some meme or something like that. I don't know. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm very interested in the Gears, and I'm going to try it out and, you know, at least try out, if I don't play the campaign, at least try out the multiplayer because, like, I'm interested. I've been getting a lot more into, like, third-person multiplayer games like that, like shooters and shit. Like, that's why, like, I enjoyed playing World War Z and shit, you know, and, like, just
World War Z
shooting
is fun.
Shooting stuff in third person can just kind of be pretty fun. I've been thinking about getting back into Rivals a little bit. And, because I was talking to Anna about, you know, because she plays
Overwatch.
she plays Overwatch competitively, and I was like, I don't think
I still cannot. I do not understand playing Overwatch. I don't get it.
not when Rivals is out. I mean,
not at all, really.
But like, because I told her, like, I've never played competitively. You know what I mean? Like, went to competitive mode and played that, and like got ranked. I've never done that, so I'm pretty interested to maybe try something.
Made it to platinum last season, baby.
Yep, I've not done it at all. No game. I never did it in Call of Duty. Never did it. Nothing.
I was like, I want to make it to platinum, and then I'll stop. And I made it to platinum, and I stopped.
Yeah, no. Like,
I knew once I got into platinum and I kept playing, I was eventually just going to get to the point where I plateaued and I was going to get pissed off. So I was just like, I'm not going to continue doing this. I set a goal and I got to the goal.
Yeah, no, I want to give it a go, like, just to see how good I am. You know what I mean? Or just like try it, just to say I mean, did it.
If you're gonna play Bucky, you're not gonna do very well. I'll tell you that.
I know, that's the thing too. I'd have to go back in there and learn all that shit, because I've never been a guy to like learn the metas. I've always just like tried to play the game. You know what I mean? Because like, especially with like,
every update, just look at the patch notes, you can pretty easily tell who's gonna be meta. Currently, it's fucking Penny Parker and Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah, and that's always been my thing too. I guess like with like the Call of Duty mentality of like, I just want to be the best in there, and that's why like I like
be the very best.
Yeah,
like no one ever was.
Pokemon. No, and that's why I play. Pokemon. I play hardcore search and destroy, because the meta don't matter. The guns don't matter. You can run around with a pistol.
Meta don't matter.
Meta don't matter. You can just run around with any fucking pistol you want and still win the game and be, you know, just as good. It's about being actually good and not just having a meta gun. And granted, like, yeah, you can have a meta gun and still be bad, but like, you could be good and not be using a meta gun and get fucked. And that's why I hate core, and I don't like playing core, because you can be using one gun, dumping an entire magazine into somebody, and then somebody uses a meta gun and they dump half a mag into you. And
yeah, I think that's, I mean, when you talk about meta guns, I think that's like, I don't really know that it's like multiplayer core, right? I think it's more for like Warzone and shit.
It's a lot of it is Warzone, but it still tributes into that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you're into like, I don't know, Call of Duty League play and core,
that's what I'm saying,
instead of hardcore, I guess it would matter. But I don't.
Because like,
I don't do that.
Because like I said, hardcore, none of the guns matter.
Every time I've played a Call of Duty in the past, I'd say 10 years, it's always been the camo grind. And then when I get bored of that, which is about a month into it, I am kind of just done playing the game.
Being better with a worse option always feel better for sure. Yeah, exactly. That's why I like playing hardcore and just being genuinely good at the game versus relying on this weapon or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, that's a lot more fun to me. I like just being good. I don't care about the camo. I don't care about using the meta gun or whatever. I just like being good. I just want to get good at it. And you know what I mean? And I'm kind of like one of those guys, like I will play with the default skin and have no issue with it, because like I'm just trying to get good at the game.
Yeah, but you're also poor.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that too.
Hey, same.
Now, I will say to put it back into Gears, tell me that Gears doesn't have a battle pass or nothing like that.
They don't.
Good. Else, like I say, I'm getting fucking tired of battle passes.
As far as I know, they don't. I don't think they do.
In this current state of like 5.
Because last time I played Gears of War 5, I think it was a few weeks ago, I played multiplayer with Jeff and Mikey a little bit, and
yeah,
I don't remember there being a battle pass. I know there's unlockables. I know there's cosmetics. Unfortunately, I think they have a crate system.
I'm fine with a crate. I'm fine with a crate system because like it's just you're unlocking stuff. You're unlocking stuff that everybody can get, and you're not paying fucking money. There's not microtransactions and shit like that. Like,
I mean, Gears does have microtransactions, but it doesn't affect it's just for some cosmetics. It's not like, you know.
Well, even if it is just cosmetic shit, I'm getting tired of battle passes. It's in like every fucking game. Every game has a fucking battle pass.
Who's
like
this?
Huh?
Who's this?
Who's what?
Somebody just joined.
Did somebody join?
Oh,
that was
Aaron?
me. I thought I was just watching.
No, you're good, brother.
Oh, no. Yeah, I forgot that I had this over. No, we're in the middle of the show. You can, I mean, we're about to end the show. Like, we're winding it down anyway. But,
Okay. Yeah, they do have a battle pass.
They do have a battle pass?
Yeah, but it's one of those Vermin or Dark Tide battle passes. It's called the Tour of Duty system.
I don't know. I like, even though like
so
it's not a bad thing.
The Tour of Duty system is it is a battle pass, right? But it is all unlockables, right? So it's like however many times you level up, and there's like specific challenges to do, and then you get like cosmetics and stuff like that. It's not a rotating thematic battle pass like we're used to. It's basically just this long train of unlocks, and basically at like the end of it, you just keep unlocking currency.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I like, even though like those aren't like a bad thing, or like I'll say even a battle pass, like a game that does a battle pass that I don't mind, like Fortnite. I won't lie, Fortnite's battle pass isn't bad. You know what I mean? Like, because like that's the only time
I don't mind a self-fulfilling battle pass. You know what I mean? Like you buy the one battle pass, and if you save all the
and you can buy the other
fun,
one.
Yeah, the fun bucks you get out of the battle pass, you can buy the next one. I don't really mind those.
That's good. I like games that do that.
It's battle passes like games like Smite, where you literally only get half the fun bucks you paid for it, and then you get again next time have to buy the lowest amount, the $5 amount, to then get it again. But the problem is like, if I'm a loyal player, if I play your game, right? If I want to if I finish the battle pass and get 100 levels or however many levels you have, I should be able to buy the next one, because it's going to keep me more interested. Making me pay money to play your game is fucking stupid.
That's why Fortnite does it right. Fortnite has been doing it because like shit on Fortnite. I know it's a fucking meme to shit on Fortnite. I get it, and I get why people do, and I get why some people don't like Fortnite. But the thing is, Fortnite 1 isn't that bad. Like, they did it well. It's a third-person battle royale. Like, cosmetic is good because, like, you have licensed characters that, like, you like seeing. Even their original stuff that they do isn't bad. Like, what you're selling, it's that efficient battle pass where, like, you can...
Here's my take on Fortnite, right? First of all, I think battle royales need to die.
Yeah, so you're just not a fan of battle royales.
I used to be huge into them, but it's such a saturated market now. Like I don't know, dude. I'm so tired of. I'm tired of it. It's just annoying now.
I mean, yeah, if like a battle royale isn't like
now
your
Fortnite is literally Roblox for teenagers, bro. That's all Fortnite is now.
Yeah,
there are so many different things you can do in it. I don't know. Albeit Fortnite looks a hell of a lot better than Roblox probably ever will, but it's the same fucking concept, dude. Lego Fortnite. There's fucking Just Dance Fortnite or some bullshit like that. I don't know, there's so much stuff you can do in Fortnite. I was like, dude, this is just Roblox. It just looks better.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, essentially, yeah. If you want to put it like that, yeah. But like to take Fortnite for Fortnite, it is and I'd say zero. I'll for me personally, I'll say zero build because I do not build because I think the building aspect is fucking annoying and I don't like doing it. I like it just as a standalone battle royale game. Like it's well made, but I'll say just talk about battle passes because that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
The way that they do the battle pass is good because like what you said, it's sufficient to where like they give you a reason to keep playing it because if you keep playing it, you get those points, you get the V-Bucks, and then you can just buy the next one. You don't have to keep spending mommy and daddy's money. You can just buy the one to get enough V-Bucks as long as you play to get the next one and the next one. And also, the cosmetics in that game are, in my opinion, cooler because like you get cool characters and also you get to see the character. You know what I mean? Because like I also get to enjoy
matters. I really forgot that matters.
Well, because like
to see the character.
Yeah, because for me and buying like let's say because like with Call of Duty, let's say I buy a character. And it's like I'm running around as like Splinter or this person or that person. All I'm doing is running around and telling you that I spent money on a digital game. All I'm doing is telling you that I'm willing to spend my hard-earned money on
my
bullshit.
unearned money.
On bullshit. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying.
I see what you're saying.
Versus,
I mean,
Fortnite.
I don't know.
I think
a lot of it for me is when I have spent money on games. It's well, cosmetics specifically. It's always been like I have this really cool skin, and I know I have this really cool skin, and I want them to see my really cool skin.
See, not for me. I want to see my cool skin. I don't give a because that's my thing. I don't give a fuck what these other cunts think. I just want to see my skin. I just want to see what I got
in style. That's all I care about.
Like I want to see what I got because like playing with Fortnite, I have Solid Snake and I have the 501st Stormtrooper or I have a Xenomorph. I like seeing that. I like running around as a Xenomorph or as a 501st Clone Trooper or as Solid Snake in shooting Goku or fucking. What's his name from fucking Jujutsu Kaisen or some shit like that. I like that. I like seeing what I buy, not just everybody else seeing it and just letting everybody know, hey, I'm a fucking turbo virgin and I'm spending $50 so that way for you to see it and for me to never fucking like to see the arms of it. You know what I mean?
So here's the thing is like I have never bought those like those big bundles like that, like the $20 to $50 bundles that give you a bunch of shit. Yeah. I've never done that. I personally don't see the point in doing it. Some people justify. I have heard Mikey in my ears, like playing Call of Duty. He's like, I'm going to spend this $20 bundle. I get a skin, I get weapon skins, and it also gives me premium currency that I can also buy another bundle with. And I was like, I mean, okay.
Yeah.
Like, whatever, dude.
I can't do it. I cannot justify buying cosmetics in a game. Like, unless if it's like, one, it's cheap. Two, I get a whole different playing style of it. Because like, as you know, like I just got into playing Dead by Daylight.
Mm-hmm.
I will pay, like I will be fine with getting,
I'll pay an ungodly amount of money just to play Nicolas Cage.
Like I will pay the money to get Nicolas Cage or to get, or especially, the place where it matters a little bit more, getting, these killers and shit like Ghostface or, whomever, because, you get different things out of it. You get different perks, you get different play styles and shit like that. Cause like you will play that character differently. Granted, no, you don't get to see them because it's in first person, and there's only Chucky's the only one that you can play in third person, and
the killers specifically, I think Chucky's the only one. But for every,
but the survivors, you're all playing third person, so you get to see it. So I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? Because like you can get Ada Wong or you can get Leon Kennedy and shit, and you get to see them. You play in third person and shit. So yeah, I want to see Ada Wong or this character or that character and shit because they look cool and they look good and whatever. I get to see it versus like, oh, this guy's running around as Ada Wong, and all I get to see is, her dainty little arms in front of me. You know what I mean? That's it.
And that's why I like the Gears of War / Darktide, and there are other games that do it, but they have this. Back to the Gears of War thing, their Tour of Duty is basically a battle pass, but they only have one, and it's just a long chain of unlockables.
But it's not like but do you pay for that battle pass to get the premium? Yeah, it's all it is. It's basically. I think all it is, like, because like a battle pass, you have to pay to be able to get these premium cosmetics or whatever the fuck out of it.
That's also not true. I mean, so Deep Rock Galactic has a battle pass system that's completely free, and it changes with the seasons.
Yeah.
So every season they have a new battle pass, and it's full of unlockables. But after you finish it, you can't. After that battle pass is done, you can't go back and unlock that stuff. So it's still the same.
See, that's why I like
concept.
I do like what Helldivers does, and you can go back to previous.
They're war bonds. Yeah. But I mean, like I said, there are ways that companies can do a quote unquote battle pass system that don't involve us spending money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, we already spent $70 on your video game. Why do we also have to spend I'm in the same boat as you. I'm in the same boat as you. It's like battle passes are getting old, they're getting annoying. They are just honestly very not fiscally responsible. And I'll be the first one to tell you, I've bought hundreds of battle passes.
Well, yeah. Because like I mean, not to out Garrett a little bit, Garrett, like his thing on playing Fortnite, he's like, I won't download Fortnite, not because I don't like the game, but because if I see that battle pass,
I'll spend a ton of money.
I know and he's making the responsible decision and not doing that.
That's why I had to stop playing games. Yeah, dude. It's because I have very little self-control like that. It's like it looks fucking cool, right? And I'm like, well, I want to look cool too, man.
Yeah.
And it's just like, but it's like that's why I can't get into games that have that like purchasable battle pass.
And the thing is too, they're not cheap. Like either some of them are fucking
they're
expensive.
$10 a pop, dude.
Like I'll say, like I'll give it to Dead by Daylight.
Between 10 to 15 bucks, man. That's, I mean, well, 10 to 15 bucks is 10 to 15 bucks.
But that's cheaper than fucking like $20 and shit, or $20-$30. Some of them are like $30-$40.
10 to 15 bucks. So here's the thing, man. They're really not that expensive. I'll be honest with you.
No, in the grand scheme of things, no. They're not, because it's $20. You're gonna go spend $20 on food later on in the day.
Yeah, but the thing is too, a lot of those battle passes last for months. You know what I mean? So like, it's not. I don't think like the fiscal standpoint is like a good argument for that because they're not that expensive. You know what I mean? I don't know. The money that you're spending should not. I don't know.
For me personally, like it's a self argument of like, if I'm buying something, I need to find use in it. You know what I mean? Because like buying a video game, even though I'm spending like $60, maybe $80. I don't know the last time I spent that much money on a game. But if I'm doing that, one, I'm getting entertainment out of it. Two, I'm in a creative sphere where I can use that to make money. You know what I mean? Like play it on Twitch or do something like that. And I am only speaking for me, but
yeah, but Mikey has a good. I think for me personally, Mikey has a great way to look at it when he buys games. He's like, if I spend $70 on a game, if I get 70 hours of entertainment out of it, I think that's money well spent. And I was like, I mean, in the simplest terms possible, that's a fantastic way to look at it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because genuinely, if you get $70 or 70 hours worth of a video game, I think that's awesome.
But that's base.
That's a lot.
That's a
lot more
game.
Time.
That has nothing to do with the like DLC or Battle Pass or anything like that.
Exactly. But I mean, when you're talking about like base games like that, yeah, absolutely. But if you get 70 hours of enjoyment out of a game after spending $70 for it, absolutely. And I think that's money well spent as well. I mean, but the thing is for me, I had never I was just like, I'm going to buy this game. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. You know what I mean? Whether it's $70 or not. And unfortunately, there have been some big misses.
Do we have to talk about Civ?
some big misses, and we could talk about
was-
Civ.
that
I
was
spent
ex- that was an
$110. I
expensive
spent
miss.
$110, triple digits amount of doll hairs, and that game I can't fucking stand, bro. It is night and day different to Civ 6, and it is dog shit, dude.
And you didn't shut
I
up about it
cannot
forever.
stand that game at all.
I know. So at the time we were living together for the people at home, and he was been talking about that new Civ 7 for fucking ever, and you know, his wife was dreading the day that came out. And it came out, they bought it, and
I spent
he hated it.
10 hours on the game, and I haven't touched it since.
Uh,
And here's the thing. I'm sure it's gotten better because my complaints about the game, they knew were complaints from the community. So, like, I'm sure it's gotten a lot better since the last time I played it. I don't really know. It's just, it was such a huge letdown for me. I don't know, dude. I was just really upset about it. You know, I was excited for the new leaders. I was excited for the new mechanics. But then, like,
but yeah,
it just,
like
it just wasn't.
back to Gears and their battle pass and stuff like that. That doesn't necessarily feel like a battle pass to me. That just feels like here's a mapped out saying of your progression. This is what you're gonna get once you get to this level. You get to this level, you're gonna get this or whatever. Versus,
Well, it's but it's not just. I don't think it's just that. I don't think it's like.
I'm so glad I
specifically-
dodged
think
Civ 7. Rip the homies that ate that for the rest of us. Is what
yeah,
Will said.
I ate it big time, homie.
But yeah, like I was saying, it's
I think
a mapped out.
I think Gears of War's like quote unquote battle pass is like challenge progression. It's not.
It's not a
level
battle
progression.
pass.
It's
Yeah.
challenge progression. But
Yeah.
it is a battle pass because I mean.
Well, I'm
battle
saying
pass
like in the
progression-
traditional
a lot
sense,
of battle
whenever you
pass
say a battle
progression
pass.
is challenge based. You know what I mean?
Not really. It's a lot of it. I mean, you got challenges that give you. You can do challenges to give you more XP that go towards that battle pass. But like,
Right.
well, I mean, it goes
that's
to your
every-
level.
But it gives
It goes
you,
to your level that
Those
progresses
challenges, those challenges give you way more XP than just playing the game does
Yeah.
every single time. So I mean, it is a battle pass, right?
I don't know,
mean,
but, like-
it's just without the. I mean, but the thing is, it could be like per match experience gain goes to that battle pass. You
Oh,
know what
yeah,
I mean?
it's-
I don't really know.
All XP
but-
goes to it.
But
But
that's what I'm talking about. Gears, I mean, per match XP could go to that battle pass. I'm not really sure, but I know it's not like level earned.
Mm.
I'm pretty sure it's just challenges. Again, I could be wrong, but I mean, I don't know. It's the same way. So like Darktide runs the same way, right? They have the penance system where it's just a fucking ton of challenges. It's a ton of challenges, and once you finish those challenges, you get like cosmetic upgrades. You get cosmetic stuff for all of the different characters and stuff. So I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's I for me personally, I think it's a battle pass. You know what I mean? Albeit it's a long ass battle pass and not repurchasable.
yeah,
But I can see where you're saying it doesn't feel like a battle pass. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
I don't know. Like overall, I'd say too. I like what we stated earlier. I'm fucking sick of battle passes. I'm getting tired of it. I'm like I'm just getting sick of seeing it. Just give me a fucking game and let me play it. Stop shoving these premium coins down my throat. Stop shoving this battle pass. I don't know.
What I
Like-
think we should do is like the CS:GO system, right? They have the crates. But if you did that with like did it like as a free option, you know what I mean? Where like you open a crate, it rolls a bunch of skins and you could get lucky and get a really sick skin. You know what I mean? Or you don't. I
Put
think if
more
we did
gambling
something
in
like
video
that.
games versus having to buy stuff.
But not with but what I'm saying is not with premium currency. I think with like every so many levels, you know what I mean, you get a crate and you can open it.
Yeah.
You get a cosmetic from it. But
Will
there's
says
also,
the core issue is how you feel about player manipulation into spending time in a game just to complete challenges / battle pass.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean that's true.
I don't know. It's just like if you're gonna make me keep playing it to like what we said about with Fortnite. Give me reward me for playing the game by giving me enough to keep it going, and because the whole thing is playing the game. Because me still playing the game still gives you money and still gives you whatever, you know what I mean? And it's just like, stop trying to gouge out my wallet with these stupid microtransactions and shit.
I think battle passes are like a bit of like a game company's insecurities. You know what I mean? Like they don't think their game is good enough.
I don't know. Like if I don't even know if it's like my full issue with it. It's like because I mean, luckily, like they stopped doing, like pay to win stuff. You know what I mean? Like no longer, like pay to win is no longer a thing. You don't have to like pay this money like on a battle pass or whatever to win or to have a better leg up on the, the system or whatever. Now it's just like these damn hotkeys. Now it's just purely cosmetic. So I will say I'm glad they did that. I'm glad it's no longer like you have to pay this game to get, the whole EA Battlefront thing where you pay a shit ton of the people that are willing or have the funds to, because like at that point you're hurting your poorer demographic. You know what I mean? You have these people that, aren't as well off or don't have the funds like everybody else, so they don't get to enjoy the game. They had to wait on a good week to buy your $70 fucking game, and then you're tarnishing them for not making enough money because everybody else that makes more money is beating their ass and winning just because they
tarnished with thy mega flame.
Just because they spent money, not because they're good at the game, just because they were willing to spend more money. Luckily, that's not really a thing anymore. Pay to win is I will say, even though Star Wars and EA, you fucked up by doing that and you pissed a lot of people off.
No. Well, the thing is pay to win is still very much alive, but EA has transferred that to their sports games and not their other IPs.
How do you pay to win?
Like, I know Madden has a huge problem with pay to win shit. So
really?
Oh yeah.
How?
Because they come out with these new rare, because there's so many different types of cards for all the same players, right? Like you could take JJ Watt and there'll be like 5 or 6 different variations of the same JJ Watt, and they have all different like overall values, right? And overall is like how good the player is. So you can spend absolutely an obnoxious amount of money on these games to pull these sports cards to then put them on your franchise team to then do better online.
Oh. That's stupid.
So like I said, it's still very much alive. It's just it's not.
How about a game just being a fucking game? Why, like,
dude? Because game companies have notoriously become more greedy. that's just what it is. Yeah, dude. I mean, this is. I
hate that shit. That's what I'm saying. Like, get rid of battle passes. Get rid of fucking pay to win shit. Just like, if you are gonna have a battle pass, don't make it be something that can actually change the outcome of the game. Or maybe if it is like, if you are going to have stuff where it will change the outcome of the game, because it's like, okay, well, if you want this, then you got to play the fucking game. I can get that. I can get rewarding like somebody for playing the game instead of just giving everybody everything and whatever. I can see the fun in that. It's like, oh, well, I want that gun. Because let's say you're playing Gears and you only get the Retro Lancer, but you have to play a certain amount of hours to get the actual Lancer. And stuff like that. So it's like, it's like, I can maybe understand that, because it's like, well, I want that. It's like, well, then play more. You know what I mean? Like, well, if you want that, play the game more and we'll give you more. But like, if you don't put the time in, then why? I'm not going to reward, because like, I can see that if you're not going to put the time in, I'm not going to reward you for just showing up. You know what I mean? Because I am somebody, like, I'm not into like the whole just, participation trophy. I'm not somebody that believes in that, so I get that. I very strong-heartedly don't believe in participation trophies, so I get it. But also, don't sit there and penalize somebody for not having the funds to pay for it. And that's more along the lines of like pay to win shit. But if you're gonna do a battle pass, make it purely cosmetic. You know what I mean? No better gun or better setup and shit like that.
I think like I said earlier, I think we just need to get rid of the battle pass thing.
Yeah, I'm very just frustrated in seeing. I think even just seeing it pisses me off. Like, it just bothers the holy hell out of me. Because, like, you'll just get some games that are, like, that have nothing to do, like it just makes no sense of a battle pass being in it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
some games like the word battle pass doesn't fit like the overall feel of the game.
Yeah, because, like, what am I battling? Like, I'm literally, like,
yeah.
like,
Yeah, they still call it a battle pass. What is it? Oh shit, what's that game with the car? Soccer cars. What's that called?
oh, Rocket League.
Rocket League. They call it a battle pass. And I mean, I get the, like, I guess some people could call it a battle, but you're ultimately playing a sport.
Well, no,
right?
because like there's games like I'm playing fucking Cookie Clicker, and you're giving me a battle pass for fucking. Like, I've seen games like that where it's like, like, because like a battle pass for Rocket League, like, I mean, yeah, obviously the terminology of battle pass doesn't necessarily, but that you're thinking too hard into it. But like, I've seen like, but I'm saying just the concept of a battle pass
in some games,
in certain games,
yeah.
like I've seen that. I've seen games like fucking Cookie Clickers or some other stupid little games, like where it's like you're giving me a battle pass, and it's like, what the fuck?
Battle pass for booty night.
Yeah. Like, it's just so stupid. Like, and I hate it. There's battle passes in every fucking game. I'm surprised there's not a battle pass in Netflix. You know what I mean? Like,
Netflix battle pass, baby.
yeah, like you watch
you get to unlock new avatars.
Yeah, you unlock new avatars if you watch a certain amount of hours, or you unlock certain big name titles.
Did you know that some like streaming apps actually have achievements on Xbox?
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, yeah. Because didn't Netflix have achievements whenever, like, back in the day?
Yeah, it used to. It doesn't anymore, but YouTube does.
Oh, YouTube still has achievements?
Yeah, YouTube still has them. I don't think you can achieve them, but it's still
they're still there. You can still see them. Yeah, it's just wild, man. Like, where battle passes
it's so stupid.
Are like going nowadays, because like I get it. Like, if you want to talk on like the business side of it, you know what I mean? I get it. I completely understand. I'm one of those people that I'm willing to understand. Like, sometimes you just gotta do business. I've been there. I've had my own store. You know,
stand on business, baby.
Like, I had my own fucking like store that I had to run. I understand that sometimes you just got to do business, and it might not be for everybody, and a lot of people might not like it, but like, you got to do what you got to do. You got to make decisions that you got to make for the betterment of the company, or, you know, or for your money and shit. And you just got to do it. And I've done it, but doesn't mean I fucking like it. And like, within reason too. Like, whenever I left that company that I worked for because there was some morality issues and stuff like that. I fucking couldn't stand it. If Garrett,
all right, that's enough about battle passes.
There's a long stride
Gears of War.
Gears.
Yeah, we really milked that for a while. Ultimately, Gears of War, great franchise, super fun. Dark game if you're into that. You know, a classic. You know.
Yeah.
But we should probably wind down because it's getting hot in this damn room.
Because you got the AC covered up.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter, right? If I even have it on, the curtain thing just stops it from blowing out. So I'm just blowing cold air straight into itself. And I'm like, fuck that. And the blinds? No, thank you. I'm hiding those for a reason.
That's why I always like rolled it up and put it in front of this.
Yeah, I need to do that.
But
I also don't like the way the AC looks. You know what I mean? Like on camera. I just don't
it's
like
just
that.
a black AC. I'm sure the audience will be okay with your comfort, so that way we can do these longer. No, it's fucking hot in here. I'll tell you what. I'm not gonna lie to you. If it's this hot next week, I'm probably going to do it. No, it's
like, dude, the swamp ass alone in a leather chair, brutal.
Oh, dude,
absolutely brutal.
Nah, dude, fucking Shrek has moved in. He's telling me to move out.
Yeah, it's my swamp.
No, but yeah, no, like I said,
no, hey, next week I'll be 31.
You will.
My birthday's in 4 days.
It's crazy.
So send me money.
Yeah, the Cash App is right there. That is a company Cash App, so send it to that. No. But yeah, Gears of War, I from the outside looking in, I enjoy it. It seems like a fun time, fun game. Like I definitely, like, just like every other game, I know I'll probably have my problems, and I'm interested to find what my problems will be with the game. You know what I mean? See if there's any.
Dude, grab yourself a long shot and pop a head, bro, and you'll be like, yeah, this game's sick.
Yeah, no, I'm very interested to play it, and especially like if I can get it on the PC Game Pass and play it with mouse and keyboard, because I know I'll fucking hate it if I have to play it with a controller, but because I just cannot play a shooter with a controller at all. I hate it. It's the worst feeling in the world. But
bro, you know I play Vermintide with only a controller, right?
yeah, it's dumb. You had a perfectly good mouse and keyboard right in front of you.
I do so well when I play controller. If I switch to mouse and keyboard, I look like I'm playing the game like you, bro.
Like me? Oh,
Yeah.
like if I'm playing with a controller?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like whenever I play with a controller, hell, I was playing Fallout 3 last night, and I was using, like, my controller was hooked up to it, and it just auto switched to it because, you know, it's a 360 game, so it just, you know, auto went to that.
It'll prioritize gamepad, yeah.
And moving around, I felt like a clunky fucking tard, dude. I was just like,
Yeah, it's very linear, more linear movement. It's like,
and
with
like
mouse and keyboard, it's very smooth.
And like I know how to use a controller and like navigate to where like it looks smooth, like, you know, and be able to go in a circle without it going like or whatever.
Yeah.
But like I don't. It just still just feels so bad and so slow, and then you can turn up the sensitivity, yeah, but then you're overshooting stuff. And
sometimes once you get used to it, is like, so here's the thing, man, is like I play with a controller, especially like, I don't know, with like shooters or like competitive games, even if they are crossplay, I still play with a controller. I played Smite for 10 plus years only on a controller, even when they introduced crossplay on mouse and keyboard. And I'm telling you right now, I slapped ass on Smite against PC players. The thing is like they say that there's like a skill thing with like mouse and keyboard and controller. I absolutely disagree with that. You know, I think if a controller player gets good enough, they can still beat the shit out of people who are mouse and keyboard.
I will. So what I would say to that is that obviously if you're good enough, you're still going to be good. But I do believe that there is an advantage with a mouse and keyboard, though. Like, yeah,
just you get to operate with your entire. You get to operate with your entire wrist. You got
your wrist, and you got a full axis. While like everything, like, so with a controller, everything you have a center point, and you have to cross that point.
Will says can confirm it's a skill issue. Straight up, dude. If you take the time on a controller to just get good with something that otherwise would be easier on mouse and keyboard, just learn it, bro. Like you can be very competitive with a controller.
No, 100%. I'm not taking away from that, but there is an advantage of mouse and keyboard, because like with this, like I said, you got a center point, and it always has to come back to that. Yeah, everywhere you go, you have to go back to center.
Mikey, well,
and you do well because like I said, you let go of it, it goes back to center. And then the thing is, if you go left to right, you have this center point
on the controller itself. I thought you were talking about like in the game. The camera just goes back to center. I was like,
you have
sometimes if that's turned on in the options. But
you have it's analog, so you have that center point that you have to go across. While the mouse, you don't. And a mouse as well, you know, obviously, as people know, called like flicking. You can flick and stop right there. You know what I mean? You can stop, and that's it. You have this whole giant axis to work off of. And
yeah, but when you, again, if you're playing on a controller against people who you know are if you just come to the realization you know they're going to flick you, you can absolutely react to that. You know what I mean? It's like your reaction. Ultimately, what I think it is your reaction time versus their reaction. And if your reaction time's worse, you're going to lose it. If your reaction time's better, you're going to win it. You know what I mean? It's just, again, I think it's just a skill issue.
Personally, I think I don't know. I think if you take two players, take the same player and put him on, like, his skill is the same. He's very good at it. You put him on mouse and keyboard, he's going to perform better on one Like, I think that he will perform better on a mouse and keyboard than he would a controller. But I guess you could argue, like, well, he's used to that. So
I was gonna say that would just
But-
be if he was used to it or not. Like if you take two people who were one used to controller and the other is used to mouse
But
and keyboard.
I'm saying, like, he's like the person is just as good, like good at the game. You know what I mean? Is like
Yeah.
he's like the skill level in game is the exact same, and I still think that you will have more of an advantage with a mouse and keyboard than you would a controller because of like the access thing.
But I'm not arguing that it is an advantage, because it is an advantage. You have your
that's
whole
what I'm
wrist. It's easier to move your camera. I am saying, yeah, I will agree with you. Yes, it is an advantage. But if you grow accustomed to that advantage as a controller player, you can 100% manipulate them into trying to flick you. You can 100% manipulate them into trying to do something on M&K that they cannot do on controller. And then you can exploit that. You know what I mean? It's like, I'll say it again. I just think it comes down to who's better than the other person. It's just a skill gap. But Will says right here, manipulation is like 30% of most games. Knowledge is much more powerful. I agree with that 100%. Because like if you take the time to learn what M&K users do versus your controller play, I think you can 100% predict and react to those situations. I mean, and it goes both ways. Mouse and keyboard can learn what controller players do, and then it's still just.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like that's what I'm saying. Like, I just feel like if you put everything on the most level playing field, I think, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, all I'm saying is that I still think just fundamentally mouse and keyboard has an advantage over a controller because of certain things. It's like, yeah, each one could do their own thing to counter the other, you know what I mean, in certain ways. But I think just collectively, like I said, fundamentally, mouse and keyboard will always have an advantage over controller. You know what I mean? Like, just fundamentally, because like I said, you have more free range. You have like, because like that's why controller has aim assist to help with that. You know what I mean? To keep you on target while like leading people and shit like that.
Aim assist, right, is a per game advantage or disadvantage, right? It depends on how that game company does their aim assist, whether it's actually way too good or way too weak.
Oh yeah,
right?
I mean,
and hardly any game company really gets it right down the middle to make it, you know, quote unquote fair, right? A lot of people argue that aim assist is way too strong. A lot of people are just like, aim assist is what it is.
And you got games like Call of Duty that has like 3 to 4 different aim assist modes. Some that are like that are stronger, lighter.
Yeah, that's when
whatever.
you're doing way too much. You're just doing way too much. Give them a fixed aim assist and stop trying to church it up.
But that fundamentally right there, that the controller has to have, that has an aim assist, says that
it doesn't, but it doesn't have to. There are 100% ways that you can just get good without having aim assist, and I'm telling you right now, I've done it. Right, it's just, again, it comes down to whether or not you're willing to put the time in to get good without the aim assist. I mean, we can go in circles all day about this subject, and people have done it for years. But I mean, ultimately, I'll agree with you. There is an advantage to playing M&K, but if you take the time to be better at the game, then it's really not that difficult.
No, yeah, it's like it's a different platform, so you have to learn different skills and shit like that. For sure. That's why I'm just saying, like,
this only really matters at the very peak of gaming performance, not really relative to our level of skill.
Oh, yeah. When it comes down to us playing, absolutely not. It definitely depends on the game, for sure, the type of game and how much time you've put into it. I shit on M&K players on Gears 5, and I use controller. Yeah, I mean, it differs, like, game to game, you know what I mean? Because, like, something like Gears, it's not as...
Gears doesn't even have aim assist.
I don't think Gears doesn't play like something like Call of Duty or Overwatch or Rivals
it doesn't.
I think it's a little like, and I'm not saying clunky in a bad way. I'm just saying the gameplay of that is a little bit thicker than what than what Call of Duty is, or like what Fortnite is, and Overwatch and stuff like that. But
I think ultimately at the end of the day, it comes down to a preference. Do you prefer mouse and keyboard or do you prefer controller?
Yeah.
Either way, just play your game, dude.
like I said, they both have their own skill things, and whatever.
Really, this argument was just about people who think that M and K or controller is better than the other. Again, I think it's just a preference.
Definitively,
you're having
there's certain
fun
things there.
If you're having fun playing a game, then just have fun playing the game.
Gears multiplayer is wall hop sim.
Yeah, it is.
Pretty much.
I mean, it absolutely is, especially if you get into a higher level of playing. It's just wall bouncing constantly.
Yeah.
Wall bouncing until somebody gets nashered.
Yeah, it's not so fast paced like Call of Duty or
no, it's more fast paced than Call of Duty. I will argue.
I don't know how this. I can't really speak on it.
Gears of War multiplayer is wall bouncing constantly, sprinting constantly until somebody gets nashered. It's just wall bounce, wall bounce, wall bounce, wall bounce until your aim just gets better than the other person's.
I will say I have.
The only thing that matters is that controllers can get bent trying to play 4X games over M and K. Lamau. I mean, you're right.
4X games. What do you mean?
4X games being Civ, Age of Wonders, games like that. 4X is not grand strategy, but they're strategic games. You build up, you go to war or don't. You diplomatically win. 4X games are basically Civ, right?
Oh yeah, any games like that, like Civs, Sims, or anything like that, or I think personally, survival games like 7 Days to Die or Raft or stuff like that. Fuck playing those with a controller. Absolutely dog shit experiences.
Really, I don't have an issue playing those games on a controller.
I think playing games like that are just horrible with a controller. I think
it really just takes more time. I mean, it just takes more time to navigate things.
I'm speaking of personally. I freaking hate it. I hate having to use the D-pad and go through every little box and then press A and then go back into it again.
You just have no patience, baby.
Then whenever you have that big circle cursor that you have, and you have to, it's just dragging across the screen.
Gears is definitely fast paced, and I mean it's a sim to you because you're not good at it. Once you get it down, it's pretty fun, honestly. That's all right. That's confrontational, Mike. It's pretty crazy. But he's not wrong though, Mikey.
No, it's all about getting good at it. Because me playing Dead by Daylight, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Wall bouncing is all anybody ever does, man. It's just bounce from wall.
Cheeky. It's cheeky as fuck.
To wall to wall.
I'll tell you that. Because I've seen the clips where people are just boom, 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 boom. It's cheeky as shit. I'd get so annoyed if I ever had that happen to me in a game. I'm shutting the game off.
I'm also not saying the game's not fun. The game is fun, but it becomes not fun if you're not good at wall bouncing.
Well, yeah, no game is fun when you're not good at it.
You're seeing a bunch of fucking gnats flying around you, and you're just sitting here trying to get on with your life, shoot a couple bad guys.
Yeah. But yeah.
Trying to swat at flies.
Well, to put to end off the controller mouse keyboard thing, there's games, as somebody I said, I am a mouse and keyboard player through and through. Pretty much almost everything that I play is that. But just the other day, I was playing Baldur's Gate 3. That game is meant to play on a controller. That game is dog shit to play with a mouse and keyboard.
I just think you haven't played enough point and click games for that.
No, I've played point and click games. I just don't like it. I prefer the movement.
There are a lot of people who refuse to play that game on console, on a controller, anyways, because of the UI difference.
I don't. So I will say I prefer the UI of the mouse and keyboard, but I prefer the movement of the controller. But the thing
he likes to use the controller stick to move, not the mouse click and shit.
Yeah, I don't like doing that.
Is people when you get used to it, right? It gives you more range to plan what you're gonna do, see where you're gonna go, scout in the fog of war. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and if I need to do that, I'll put my controller down I'll reach over, I'll press WASD, but I'll move the camera around if I need to look forward, and then I'll go right back, press A on the controller to go back into this mode and do that. You know what I mean?
This is why controllers will never die. They will never die.
Well,
dude.
no, that's a testament to why PC is the way to go, because you can just swap back and forth from the son of a bitch like that.
Well, not anymore. I can plug in an M&K and play Baldur's Gate right now and do the exact
Well, I mean,
thing.
yeah, certain games on console you can do that, but not all of them.
It's becoming more prevalent now.
I would say probably now, I guess.
With the newer game, like any Call of Duty, you can plug an M&K in and play it. Battlefront, Battlefield, you can do it. I mean, there's all kinds of pretty popular games. You can plug in that mouse and keyboard and just play them.
But well, I was saying like switching between the two. I don't know. I mean, I've not tested it, but like, because I know once you plug in mouse and keyboard, rather it takes over as the default controller, or it will come in as a second one.
As soon as you flick the stick on a controller, it'll switch over.
But
well, on Call of Duty specifically.
yeah, I was like, I know it does it for
But
Call of
I
Duty,
don't-
but I don't know about other games.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about other.
But also too, like with like
on a controller.
like I don't know if the UI would change in certain games if you, because like what you're just saying.
Oh, I mean, it depends on the game, really,
But
because some games are coded in Microsoft's like preferred format, so it won't change. Other games, they have their own like format layers that they can put on over top of that, so it will change. But I don't really know.
yeah, like I was saying, to like put a pin in like the whole controller thing. There's certain games that are played way better with a controller, and there's games that are way better with a mouse and keyboard, and there's some games that like it's just up to preference. Like I play Monster Hunter with mouse and keyboard, and a lot of people tell me I'm fucking
Ew.
crazy for that.
Yeah, dude,
But-
that's so wild.
I didn't have a controller at the time when I started playing it, so I used this and mouse and keyboard, and I got used to it. And I don't mind it. And then, like I said, Baldur's Gate, I prefer the controller with it. Or, you know, any survival game, that be The Forest, 7 Days to Die, Grounded, any of that stuff, mouse and keyboard 1,000 times over.
Ultimately, it's preference. What he
Yeah.
just said is all subjective. It's all preference.
It's preference. I like, obviously, definitively, there are advantages to certain things, and like that's just, you can't really argue it. But you know,
Can't
but
argue
it
it.
does
Watch
go
me.
down to it goes down to preference for sure. But I think that's, you know, we can cut it there. We got to like the 2.5 point, and we got, you know, into a huge topic that was
And
still
half
at least
of an hour of it was about bullshit.
well, because I think we hit, like I've been noticing that we'll hit our what we want to talk about with the game within a certain amount of
Yeah.
time, and then we're like,
Yeah, and then we
well,
just
we still
kinda
got
start
time to
hanging
fill.
out.
Yeah, we just kind of hang
Yeah,
out. Well,
we
because that's what this
just
is, you
start
know, it's
hanging out.
hanging out and having conversations, and I need to fucking fix this chat box somehow.
Yeah, you
it's
just
so
gotta
weird.
find the browser settings. You just gotta find the right dimensions.
It's a little bit better.
55.
It's
I mean,
getting-
if you put a fade on the top of it, it'll probably be fine. Since I accept the Monster Hunter thing, that's heresy. Yeah, I've told him.
no, it's not that bad.
There you go. See, that's perfect right there.
I just need to make it thicker. It's just gonna reset it all though. Oh nope, it brought it all back. There we go.
There we go.
That's not bad.
I like
Not
that.
perfect, but it's not bad.
I like that a lot more than how we had it. I'll be honest with you.
But yeah, the Monster Hunter thing. No, it's not. It's actually not that bad till you try it. Come play Vermintide, nerds.
Yeah, I'm gonna play some Vermintide.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some food and then I'll jump on there. Oh, then I got to talk to Aaron because I got to edit one of his videos, so I got to figure that out. But yeah, no, thank you all for coming and hanging out and being a part of it, talking Gears and weird decision making, remastering the first game for the 12th time.
Yeah, I meant to comment on that, Mikey. Actually, they're remastering the first game again for the
they
second
are?
time. Yeah, instead of giving us a remastered 2 or a remastered 3. Oh god, that would be so sick. Be remastered 3 instead. They're remastering the first one again so PlayStation can have it.
That's something too that I think is so stupid. Like we're gonna have a.
I don't really mind it. I don't really mind it at all. I think it's a decision that needed to be made a long time ago because Xbox is like Black Myth Wukong actually just went on sale on Xbox 2 days ago. So I think ending this quote unquote console war thing is a good move because like exclusivity I think should just be done. You know what I mean? Is like share your IPs and let's make some good games again, dude. Because like,
but like I feel like you don't have to share IPs and make a good game. Because back in the day, they made great games and didn't share IPs.
I mean, yeah, that's true, but I don't know. I think
because people could sit there and argue and say that Gears of War is super great, and they can argue that God of War is super great, and they're not shared IPs. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true. I think if like if they put like PlayStation exclusives on Xbox and the same thing with Xbox and PlayStation, I think we can get a better sense of like what all customers want. You know what I mean?
Well, no. So my thing with it, they all learn off of each other, just like the phone industry does. And my thing is that they need to get certain ideologies out of their fucking head, like battle passes. If they would stop focusing on battle passes and microtransactions, they could focus on actual genuine game.
Again, bro.
No, I'm not. We're not going to go back into it, but I'm just saying if they could stop focusing on like the money shit. Because like the thing is, they're like, oh well, because like the way that they look at it, it's like, okay, I'm gonna make a half-assed game, but I'm gonna throw a battle pass in there to make up for the loss and people not buying it because it was a shit game.
It's also not true for a lot of games. I mean, what is it? Star Wars Outcast, dude. It was a completely single-player game, and it was just dull. There was nothing to it at all.
Oh yeah, no, and I'm just saying, like there's many aspects of it, but people are so focused on certain things. More games that more
people can play are always a good move for the people that play games. It's very, I mean, that's true. But the thing is like there are PlayStation people, Helldivers, right? PlayStation people have been begging for Xbox to get Helldivers because not enough people play it anymore, you know. And if we get it on Xbox, they get that influx of people, especially with a game like Helldivers where you're constantly fighting an active war, right? In real time.
Yeah, the war does.
Things are changing constantly.
If I go on to Helldivers right now, like the Terminid or, Illuminate might be progressing more towards Super Earth, or it might have been pushed back. I don't know. I'd have to get into the game to see.
With games like that specifically, is like it's a real time thing that's happening. So like games that are like exclusive, right? It ends up hurting them because they want that
but that's a small niche though, because like Helldivers is the only one that I know that actually does that.
But think of like I don't know multiplayer PlayStation games like that, but I'm sure there are some. But think of how much more the game would be filled out, right? If they had more Halo. I know Xbox games, right? As soon as they get Halo, because they're getting Master Chief Collection. As soon as they get Halo, imagine how many more people are going to be playing Halo on PlayStation. And it's going to fill out those lobbies where like, what we're not seeing is the MMR ratings, right? So with MMR, they put they have a specific brackets for specific player numbers, right? So if you fall into a bracket, not all the time is there going to be people online that fill out that bracket. So you're going to be put with people that are either better than you or way, way worse than you. And your games are not going to be as even as you would want them to be, right? I mean, when you're playing a multiplayer game, not all the time do you just want to wash over people because that gets boring. Not all the time do you want to get your fucking teeth kicked in because that sucks, right? Sometimes you just want good games where it's a back and forth. It keeps you interested in the game. So when we have people that fill out those multiplayer brackets, like the MMR brackets, then you're going to have better games more consistently.
That's where people will argue like skill-based matchmaking, though. Even though skill-based matchmaking is bullshit.
It's
like
so
in the way,
bullshit,
so
dude.
like I'll say the idea of skill-based matchmaking, understandable, but the way that it's implemented is wrong because like you'll have a really bad game. Because let's say you're a decent player, you have a bad game, you're going to get put in a lobby with bad players, right? But then, so with you being a decent player versus going against bad players, you're going to have a really good game. So now you're put into a lobby with fucking people that are going to whoop your ass because, you went really well in this last game because you got lobbied with a bunch of shitty players.
and this is why an ELO and an MMR system are, I think, are much so much better, because like they take the idea of ranked but put it in like normal play, right?
Yeah.
So you get those balanced matches. But a lot of the time, what people run into with non-crossplay games is that they don't have enough people to fill out those brackets that they put people in with MMR. Smite, namely, ran into that issue when the game was dying, right?
Well, I thought Smite was on everything.
Well, for a while, it wasn't crossplay.
You're talking about crossplay. I was about to say. I was like,
yeah, well, crossplay, but that's what I was saying. Like crossplay specifically, when you don't have that, the game was dying because the MMR system was, I mean, it was working, it was functional, but there wasn't a high enough player count for people to get decent matches. You either got your shit rocked or you just swept the entire other team, right? And again, after a while, like sweeping the entire team feels good, but after a while, it gets super fucking boring. You know, you don't have good, interesting matches anymore.
Like I want to challenge.
I think if we just make, we make every game coming out crossplay, sure. Keep your exclusives.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, make everything crossplay. Don't give up your name. Like don't give up face. You know what I mean? It's like you have your characters. I don't know. This sounds like racist, I guess. I don't want to see Master Chief on a PlayStation. I don't know, maybe it's like brand loyalty or something like that. I don't want to see Master Chief on a PlayStation. I don't want to see.
But you don't even own an Xbox.
I don't want to see
use an Xbox.
Yeah, I'm in the middle. I'm on a PC, so like I get all your guys' shit. I don't care.
But why do you care so much?
But I think it's because I grew up on Xbox. So
just plays an Xbox all the time. Doesn't care that much. I just don't care that much.
Maybe I'm racist. I don't know. But like the idea of looking,
but the thing is like
seeing
you can't have crossplay without the game already being on that console, right?
Well, but what you're talking about, I like certain games. Like I don't want to see like seeing Halo on an Xbox. I mean, on a PlayStation, it just does not feel correct. Just like seeing Kratos on an Xbox doesn't feel right. It feels weird. Or seeing like Ratchet and Clank on an Xbox don't feel right. Or Jack and Dexter. It's the same thing like seeing Marcus Phoenix on a PlayStation. It feels weird. See, like how would you feel if you saw Mario on an Xbox or a PlayStation?
I genuinely would not give a fuck, right? I don't care. But the thing is, what you're saying is you don't want it to see on anything other than an Xbox. Why is it on PC then?
No, I'm saying, well, I mean, Windows. I mean, it's just a fucking bigger, more powerful Xbox if you want to sit there and argue it.
I mean, sure, but some of those games are also on a fucking Macintosh. So, like,
why would you want less people to play games you like? Don't you want to share? You know what? I never shared with my siblings. I didn't give a fuck.
I want more people to play the games I enjoy, right? So if that means I have to get people on PlayStation to play Master Chief Collection or any Gears game or whatever multiplayer game you want to talk about, absolutely, I'm fine with it. I don't care. As long as it keeps the game I love alive, I'm fucking fine with it.
No, and a lot of it, I'll say this on top of it. A lot of it is me playing devil's advocate to add to the story and to add face, a little behind the scenes of that. But two, I think it's just with like certain characters. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like
dude.
I would be mad. I don't know. I think it's for me because like I'm somebody that's like brand loyal in a certain way. And even though like I don't have an Xbox and I don't have a PlayStation, I think for me maybe I like the symmetry of like. We have our team, we have our people, and it's like so just make the game better and get people to come to your shit, you know? Right. Make Halo better, so make people come to Xbox more.
You can still have your fucking brand loyalty, but giving away exclusives is not an issue on that. You can still perfectly be an Xbox stan or a PlayStation stan while also playing their exclusives. I don't see a problem with it.
No, and I'm not speaking from like the consumer standpoint. I guess I'm talking about like company standpoint of like this is your mascot, this is your guy.
Okay, I understand that, but the only reason I don't own a PlayStation is because I can't stand the controller.
Yeah, I hate same thing. Controller. I don't like the controller. I hate it.
Corporation or not, your friend, never forget.
Oh no, I know that.
are not your friend. Never forget. Yeah. I mean, yeah. But at the same time, I just don't, it doesn't bother me like that. You know what I mean?
No,
Because,
and like in like I said, like I did state, overarching, and this is everything in my life, it don't bother me. Don't give two shits or a fuck. I'm speaking on, you know, because it literally is just a video game, and like, yes, everybody is correct of more people are playing this game, so the better. But like I want more people playing Mario games because I think Mario is great, but I never want to see Mario on anything else but a Nintendo console. You know what I mean? So it's something of like, so there's no winning argument to any of it, you know, or I'd say the winning argument is like more people get to play it. I guess like for me is the stupid argument that I'm throwing out there is, you know, these are your characters, these are your people, and you made it exclusive for a reason. So make this game fucking better to force people to have to switch over to you.
But
So it's just like the phone thing with Apple and Android. Make the iPhone way better to get people to leave Android, or make this Android phone work more for this person, or make it way better, give it more features, give it a better camera, give it whatever to get people to switch from Apple to Samsung or to Google or to whatever. It's the same thing. Give me a reason to come over to PlayStation and like, you know, like overarching, like, you know, like, yeah, I just want a symmetric world and everybody loves each other and whatever, and we all get along. As long as you're playing video games, I don't give a fuck. You could play it on your Nokia brick phone. I don't care what you're playing it on. Play the phone version of BioShock. I don't give a shit. That's a real thing. Look it up. Don't give a shit. But it's like, for me, and like competitively and as a corporation, it's like, you know, put a little bit of fight in there, make the game better, because like then that's like a push to make this franchise better.
But ultimately, here's the thing:
you know?
it doesn't really matter. So Microsoft Studio is the one who makes those games, and they're gonna make money off of it either way, right?
Yeah, they're gonna make it. But it's like, I want to see this game be better, not just fall
not
in line
losing.
and whatever.
It's fair feeling odd about seeing mascots on other consoles.
Yeah.
And it absolutely is fair, but it's not like I don't feel weird about it. I just don't really care about it. You know
No,
what
so
I mean?
like I said, in the grand scheme of things, do I care? No. But if we're going to have a conversation about it, you know what I mean? Like it's like, I want to see Halo be a better game. I don't want to see it. I feel like if you just put it on every console and just spread it across, I don't feel like it's going to. I don't know. And it could because because the thing is, it's still that developer.
So here's the thing: even if they did or did not put it on PlayStation, right? They've already fucked Halo up, right? Halo Infinite is not a good game at all. I mean, and a lot of people like it, but I don't. I
like the multiplayer. I don't like the.
What are your thoughts on the upcoming Titanic escape simulation game? Stupid.
I mean, I think it'd be cool. Be fun.
Sure.
Be just kind of spooky.
A couple hours. But
I mean, it would be an experience.
In the end,
it's not
you're
a
still
game that you can
probably
replay.
gonna die. Yeah, the thing is, you already know how the game ends.
You die.
You already know how the game ends. There's only one, right? They've already told her story, so you already know how the game is gonna end. Why the fuck does it matter? I think the whole idea of it, I get wanting to make a simulation game or out of, you know, a boat sinking. Sure, that's fine, but I don't understand why it had to be Titanic.
Well, I think that's just like the notorious thing. It's a big thing.
Isn't it more likely these companies will work together to throttle improvement for a safer bottom?
Yeah, and see, and that's what I said too. And so the thing is, they're not.
I mean,
the developer's not working together. You're just allowing the license for that game to be on there. The development's not changing. It's still Microsoft. It's just you're allowing that game to come over there. You know what I mean? And then also you're sharing the margin.
What he's saying is wouldn't game companies like not necessarily like take over the project, right? But also like put some like, hey, this is what we could maybe do to make the game better. You know what I mean?
Also,
I think we live in a world where like we think that game companies don't talk to each other. You know what I mean? They share employees quite a lot, especially like Microsoft Studios that also has absorbed Bethesda and Obsidian. They share employees quite a bit. So like these game companies can absolutely talk to each other.
Because like look at it. You got it like this. Because you got to think of it like it's the Disney thing. You got Microsoft, and then you got Bethesda, and you know like I'm just gonna say Ubisoft or whatever. Just like you got Disney, and then you got Fox and Marvel, or Star Wars and Marvel. And so I think a thing of that of where, because like I said, it's not like they're gonna like, here's Halo, we're gonna let Sony put it on their console and shit like that, and then where they're gonna take a partial of the margin and shit like that. I don't think that they're gonna try to like, they're not gonna help Sony. I feel it's gonna be, and like I'm just speaking speculation of like Sony is gonna be like, well, it's still your game, you got to make it. We're just gonna put it on our shit and get the money off of it. And then you also
Well,
you
I think-
got
I
shit
think what
of
the thing
like
is we're in uncharted territory, right? So it's really hard to speak on.
well, yeah,
what is
no one
going
knows
to
what's gonna happen. So
like,
that's why I'm saying I'm
for
just
me,
speaking off of.
For an ideal world, I think for an ideal world for like the future, it'd be an absolute great idea if Sony game companies saw the games and be like, hey, this is what we can do. Or like either way, Xbox sees these game companies from PlayStation and be like, hey, maybe we can make these changes. Or like,
Yeah,
I just
that's
think if
the
we have an
ideal
open
shit.
conversation and, you know,
But
I don't know.
it could be
Well,
something
the
like
competition is supposed to breed better results. So exclusives are. What did they say? Antithetically, so that to that idea. I get what you're saying.
yeah. So that's why having competition. Like what he said is 100% true. You need competition to make your shit better. So if you're like, and I'm so like, yes, as a world, obviously we all want everybody to work together and be
Indie
together.
games have already dealt with this conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, as true as that is,
And
but,
so but
a lot of the attraction to video game consoles and video games as a whole are these AAA companies, not these indie devs, right? So like, what to give these AAA companies more of an indie feel or more of an indie development feel to them, because indie games make great games. A lot of indie companies have become AAA companies because they make good games. If we can get AAA companies to have more of the formula that these indie developers have, I think that
they need to have the ideology of that, because like indie games are like, I'm going to like, because they are so small, so they're going to make the best thing that they possibly can. So like
PSP was dog shit.
The PSP was not dog shit. The PSP was great.
PSP was ass.
But the thing is, so I'll take it into a world that I know a lot of is the phone world. So there's a brand called Nothing. You know, he was the guy is a co-founder of OnePlus, and then he split off from there and founded Nothing.
I saw the video.
And the thing is, of those phones, the Nothing phones, their margin is like zero. They're making like fucking basically no money off of the things that they're doing. But they're essentially a small town, like they're an indie development of a phone. And what they're doing is they're focusing on giving the things that people want in a phone and need and stuff like that, instead of just filling them in with a bunch of bullshit or whatever, and like just, you know, overselling shit, overhyping stuff and whatever. But like I was saying, with Sony and I'll say Sony and Marvel, you know, like we'll talk about with Spider-Man. Spider-Man's something that they share. Spider-Man is Sony's character that they gave to Marvel, and what Marvel is doing, and Marvel took it, and what Marvel's doing is fantastic. What Marvel needs to be the one doing everything with Spider-Man, and Sony is absolutely fucking it up.
Once you take that same ideology and the stuff that Sony makes as far as PlayStation and think that Xbox could do it better,
that in some cases probably, you know what I mean? They could make it completely better, because like it's like Sony has more exclusives and shit like that, but I feel like
there's no argument there. The Game Boy Advance was superior than the PSP in like every single.
What do you say? Okay, the argument can be made that the Game Boy Advance is superior to the PSP. Yeah, Game Boy Advance is.
The Game Boy Advance was unparalleled, dude.
I mean, not technically.
Not technologically.
It's just more fun.
As far as like, you know, value of the Game Boy Advance, it was just not.
I'll say the PSP. The PSP was great though, because it did have great games. They looked great. You could watch fucking full movies on that bitch. Add music to it. Download videos to it. Also, like you can't argue that the PSP is not great.
All that's cool.
You get to play games and you have a giant like MP3 player on it. You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying, but at the end of the day, it's sold as a video game console, and the video games on a Game Boy were just better.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know me, I'm a Nintendo fucking fanatic, and I literally collected Game Boys.
When it comes to those portables and like their versatility to do all these other, I don't care about that. I care about the games that those portables have, right? So a PSP wasn't it for me. A Game Boy Advance was it for me because all it did was play games, and the games it had were fucking sick.
It was the mid 2000s
Switch. Yes and no.
I mean, it was still like portable games. You didn't have like AAA, big games. I mean, they had a couple.
As far as it was portable, absolutely. But I mean, battery life alone as being a portable, the GBA still has a Switch beat. But
I mean, yeah, you can just pop the batteries out.
The Switch is such a high powered thing that it only lasted for like 2 hours off dock.
But
then the Game Boy had a good 12 hours when you first got it.
Double A's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of those double A's, baby.
But yeah, so no, there's a chance of, you know, Microsoft allowing Sony to do things. But I think, like I said, I don't think that, and this is just speculation of what I think is going to happen, is like, I don't think it's like, oh, hey, Sony, here's Halo. Help us make it better. I don't think it's that. I think it's like, here's Halo.
I don't think.
Where you can sell it on your store and we'll give you a partial, like we'll give you money, like partial of the money whenever people buy it, but like it's still our game and we're going to do everything with it and shit like that. That's probably the way that it's going to go. You know what I mean? But it's just like... a
modded PSP can play GBA games, so it wins.
Yeah, I literally have a modded... I have a modded Vita.
Sure.
But...
Sure. Absolutely.
No, yeah, I get that. Because I play Game Boy games on my Vita.
But also at the same time...
It doesn't.
You could just play a GBA.
Yeah, I'm kind of one of those people. I do love modded
like,
systems.
If you are like adamantly against buying a Game Boy Advance,
and I get that they're expensive,
reason, but for some reason you wanted to own a PlayStation console but wanted to play Nintendo games, you could absolutely do that.
Because I mean, honestly, you can go to fucking Temu and buy that $10 fucking modded thing.
Or you could cut all of that out and just get a PC.
And now you're playing everything.
So I mean,
this is why you need to just get a PC. Throw all your consoles away and get a PC.
Under that logic, nobody should buy a console again and just own PCs. So
I mean, they don't call it the master race for a reason, you know what I mean? No. What was said? Can we all get behind the remastered version of Duck Hunt? That would be wild. It's clear that the gaming...
No, I will not get behind that.
Monopolies don't want to compete.
Seems like a waste of time.
I mean, I would play it. I'm not going to lie. But I'm just a huge Nintendo person. Don't want to compete with each other, so the point is fairly mute. No.
Yeah, I mean,
this is all
you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But at the end of the day, you know... the game companies are going to do what they want to do. You know what I mean?
It's the same thing with phone companies.
Corporations,
but they
do game devs, they're all going to do what they want to do. And as far as like listening, indie companies are the only ones that listen, right? Like AAA companies, they make...
I don't know about in the game sphere, maybe, but big companies do listen. They listen better than the government. I'll tell you that.
I mean, they want to listen to what they want to hear. That's for sure.
But like Apple with the new iOS 26 and everything, the beta 2 just came out for developers and shit. And there was a lot of issues with certain things with like the liquid glass, and they actually listened to what people were saying and changed a big problem. You know what I mean? And made it a lot better and shit. So
sure, but I'm talking about video games specifically.
Well, no, I was saying like big. Like companies, you know, I wasn't saying like just phones. I'm saying big companies in general do listen. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
But I don't. I give two fucks about phone operations.
I'm just talking about phone. I'm not saying phone companies. I'm saying big companies.
Video game companies are notorious for not listening. The big video game companies specifically are notorious for not.
Oh yeah, you got Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed. You see fucking.
What is that? EA? Have you seen Anthem? You ever heard of the little game called Anthem?
Yeah, I barely
really
remember.
Fucked that up.
They listen, so they listen for sure. So that plays into another thing where a lot of people are like, I don't want to see, like, I want to see a better game, and so this is bad and shit. And so people are like, oh, I won't. Like, it plays in numbers. The numbers don't lie. So, like, if you want to see, so it goes like two ways. If you want to see something get better, so, and even though it's a shit game, buy it. Because that means that they're going to want, that means people want more. Buy it. But then, you know, do your reviews and blah, 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 and all that stuff. And I guess that it goes for, like, the bigger, like, YouTubers and shit like that. but you do leave reviews on like Xbox or PlayStation or Steam or whatever. Because like if you don't buy it, that shows that that might also end the game at the same time. It's like we want to keep seeing Mario games, so people keep buying Mario games. It's just like we keep wanting to see
true.
But it kind of is true because like we keep wanting to see Call of Duty. So even though like everybody talks shit about Call of Duty, everybody buys it because they want more Call of Duty.
There's a double-edged sword.
It is a double-edged sword
because like you buy a game and the game companies don't make any changes. Namely, Call of Duty. They keep doing the same thing over and over and over, and knowing that people are just going to game because they want to play more.
Yeah, and it is a double-edged sword.
The fix to that is stop giving them fucking money. You want a different game, stop giving them money.
But that also could mean that they don't make another game, depending on the franchise.
Right, double-edged sword, dude.
So it depends on the game. I guess if it's something big like Call of Duty, don't buy it.
It depends on if it's a AAA company or not.
Yeah, if you want to see a better Call of Duty, then don't buy Call of Duty. You know what I mean? Because then I'm like, oh, this is shit. Not many people are buying it.
Start a boycott, right? Boycott Call of Duty. Start a forum, right? Write a letter. Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater is probably my all-time favorite game. I played it like 9 times. All the way through on PS2 and Xbox.
Well, good thing it's a remastered and it looks pretty as fuck, and I plan on buying it because I also love
really tired of remastered games.
Yeah, no, I am too for sure, but I won't.
I don't care.
I'm
about,
not gonna
like,
lie. I'm definitely buying that Snake Eater.
Give me a 1-for-1 remake, sure.
But isn't that just a remaster?
No, like updated mechanics, updated UI. But
Realest shit I've heard.
Remaster.
What?
I won't buy a broken game. I won't buy a broken game in hopes that the next one is good. I don't give a shit if a franchise dies because I don't buy something. Someone else will fill that gap. That's exactly right.
Well, I guess it depends on how you feel about that.
You don't want to continue playing the same Call of Duty, but it's a DLC version of it that they charge $70 for. Stop fucking buying it.
Yeah.
Another game company will make a game like Call of Duty,
or Call of Duty will see that and fix it. You know what I mean? Hopefully. Like I'm going to speak, like
it is wishful thinking for sure, wishful thinking. But I don't know. It's hard to tell what game company is going to do because they always tend to find a new way, even to fuck us over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like
but also understand. But like so with everything that we're talking about, there's some cynicism and some optimism and stuff like that.
GTA? Hopefully never.
I think next year, right?
I don't know. They've pushed it back a couple times now.
So like I was saying, there's cynicism and optimism in everything that we're saying because you can play devil's advocate, you can be glass half full, glass half empty, you can be whatever, like about any of it.
Spring. I think they confirmed spring next year. I'm not really sure. It probably can change again though.
But
but that $110 price tag for standard edition seems pretty wild to me.
Yeah, get fucked. That's wild. Like, just games are getting more and more expensive. But
no, but that's more than just being expensive. That's downright fucking greedy as shit.
Yeah, no one
for standard edition. And
people are gonna buy it, but not a lot.
That's what I'm saying, man. If y'all bitch and bitch and bitch. This goes out to the people who fucking leave Xbox reviews specifically. Steam reviews I trust inadimmately.
Oh yeah, you can trust Steam reviews.
But Xbox reviewers, bro, you guys are cesspool of the earth, okay? Skid marks on the underwear of society. I cannot stand Xbox reviewers. You guys will literally spend so much money on these video games, complain about that video game, and when they release a sequel, you buy it again. Bro, stop doing it. Somebody else will have that idea.
Is this it? Glass half empty or the mind half full? Yeah, shut the hell up. He's using his channel name for that. That's a stretch. I mean, granted, we've done it. We've said sweet nostalgia a lot on the show.
No, don't say we.
You've said it at least once. You've made nostalgic jokes.
I can recount one.
That doesn't mean that you didn't say more. That's what I'd say. That doesn't mean that you haven't said it before, because I also have bad memory too.
Yeah. All right, 3-hour mark. We really need to get.
Well, no. If we're gonna get behind the scenes a little bit, we got more traction with the comments, so we're gonna keep it going until that starts slowing down. You know.
But we have two friends actively waiting for us to play a game with them.
Well, those two active friends are also the ones chatting in the thing.
One is Garrett is not.
Well, he should be.
Anyways, I think like I was saying earlier, if AAA companies took more of the formula that indie devs have and really like put a microscope on their community and listened much more often, we'd have a lot better games. But that's not gonna happen, especially with AAA companies.
Yeah, no, but like
it just will not happen.
It's one of those
like
things.
Will said, the only thing they listen to is money. If you don't like
water
the game,
bottle.
don't buy the DLC when it comes out. Right? Don't do it. Stop spending money on their battle passes. Stop spending money on their dumbass cosmetic packs. Just stop doing it, dude. They make less money. They'll start listening, probably, hopefully.
He said, William, shut the fuck up. Rat time. Yeah, no, so it's one of those things of, yes, it's wishful thinking, but don't stop putting that out there. You know what I mean? Because, because the audience is what helps things grow. You know what I mean? Because like just like with like everybody in the chat right now talking and listening and hanging out, you guys are what would help us grow and become better. Because like we can sit here and talk for hours every fucking day as long as we want, but if you guys aren't showing up and coming and talking or doing anything like that, it shows no viability to what we're doing, and I know it doesn't show anything to what we're putting out here. It shows a lot in the views and everything. So a way to round that into us ending this, thank you guys for coming and being a part of that, and a way for us to repay you for that. In the link tree, if you guys go to the link tree, if you're anybody that does not have Hulu or anything, in our link tree, in our bio, we do have a 30-day free trial for Hulu. So if you're wanting to watch anything right now, or if there's anything on Hulu that you've been wanting to watch, but you don't have the subscription, in that link tree, there is a 30-day free trial. You can hit that, go watch whatever you're watching. Also, if you're not... make some cards that I can hand out here. I'm promoting you hard. We'll do something. We'll create.
God,
sweetness.
Making business cards is so expensive, dude.
Well, they're not that expensive actually, because we made some for AT&T. I had a little bit of some. I had like a handful of them.
Did you get a discount?
Huh? No discount. They're just not that expensive. It depends on how much you put into it. You know what I mean? We'll make some, but yeah, I was going to say, we'll make some sweet nostalgia trading cards. We'll put ourselves on a trading card with stats.
What a short game that would be.
Well, no, not like a card, like a TC.
I'll trade you my James.
Yeah, not like a TC.
I already have 4 Ryans.
No, yeah, it'll be like different forms of us. Like we'll have regular James, we'll have misogynistic James, and then we'll like the different forms and variations of us. You know what I mean?
Shaved James.
Shaved James. From that one AI edit that I did, Skinny James, Fat James.
Oh, God. Man, that would be tough.
Hatless James. I don't know. This is like a picture of you without a hat.
We're not doing it, Aaron. It's not.
Say do it. We might.
You can. I'm not diverting any resources that, might I remind you, we don't have to make these goddamn cards.
Dude, they would go hard. It'd be so fucking cool.
I'm not gonna lie to you. They'd be pretty easy.
Use your clip art for each episode. Yeah,
a lot of people listen, dude. A lot of people, actually, one person really got to us and said that they don't like our art. Like, really just don't like the AI art.
Hey man, well, that's why I told him. I was like, hey, we don't like it either, but if you want to change it, we don't have the funds to sit there and do something out. We don't know how to draw at the moment, so we're doing what we can.
At the moment, I am 31 in 4 days, bud. I think it might be a little late for me.
And like I also like I Photoshop the stuff for the gaming stuff, but for these podcasts we do use AI shit.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. That's probably not gonna change.
Not for a little while. But also, which I mean, I'll come up with something. Maybe we can do something, and maybe I can do a Photoshop thing, because it wouldn't be hard to do it a certain way. But
yeah.
Also within that link tree, there is a 10 free meals in HelloFresh. If you don't know what HelloFresh is, it's a meal service that will send you raw, fresh ingredients, organic ingredients to help make a dish, and you can cater those dishes to whatever your eating style it is. You know, whether it be vegetarian, vegan, meatitarian, pescatarian, whatever it might be. You can cater to that. So they give you a little like cue card thing that just teaches you how to cook it, prep it all. You know, it's all within this box that just gets shipped to you. You got like, I think it will come with like 5 meals or whatever within each box. But like I said, 10 free meals. You just go sign up for that in the link tree. All the information is right there. Just click on that link, fill it all out, and they'll send you 10 free meals. Super good thing. I did it for a long time. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It gets you back in the kitchen. And that's how I felt about it. I felt, it felt good actually cooking a meal. You know what I mean? Versus and cooking like a legitimate meal, not going in there browning some meat, throwing some noodles in it, doing whatever. Like just cooking like a full-fledged, damn near gourmet meal. It felt like, at least my poor ass, it felt great. And, it felt good doing something instead of just being lazy and going and buying something or throwing something in the oven and shit like that. So right there, you got food and entertainment. Go get your 10 free meals and your 30-day free trial of that right there. You got all your entertainment. So you can sit there and watch Hulu while you make the meal. Well, you can sit there and watch us while you make the meal, watch us while you eat those 10 free meals, or, get on series on Hulu. So, and
I don't know how I feel about like actively knowing that people eat food while we talk.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that do it. I've actually had countless people send me Snapchats of like them eating and watching our show. Pretty cool.
Gross.
Felt pretty good. But also for the people that do any music or create any sort of art or anything else like that, there is a submit form in there to submit any sort of music or art that you do that we will play at the beginning of. He watches you while I shower and poo. I bet you do, you freak. So Aaron, yeah. Submit your music or art that we'll showcase in the 10-minute pre-show of the podcast. We go live every week, every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. We'll showcase your music, your art, all that in there. This is a whole form that you fill out and submit it, and we'll build the community. Anything else? You want to promote the Discord?
Yeah, check out the Press Start Game Club. We're on Discord. Just look it up. Should be able to just look it up and join it. Yeah,
it should be. Yep. And what do you like? All that I get. It's just updates about the channel.
Yeah, Press Start Game Club. We have updates on the channel. Well, it notifies you every time we put out a video or start a live. But it also is a video game book club. We play a game once every couple weeks. Talk about the game. Check in on progress, and then by the time the game's done, we talk.
Yep.
And then it starts all over again.
Tessa, hi, how we doing? We're rounding things out, but glad to have you come in. Tessa, if you didn't hear, if you need Hulu, we got 30-day free trial. Go check that out. If you need 10 free meals.
Good night. Tough.
if you need 10 free meals, we got 10 free meals of HelloFresh. Go check that out. So 30-day Hulu. 10 free meals. Go check that out. Also, for anybody that's watching that isn't subscribed, or if you're coming back and watching this until the end, or you got to this point, or if you're lurking in there, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Give us a like. Like I said, we're on. So this is a little channel update too for the people that are still watching. You guys are very used to us putting out videos every single day, and I know that's not been the case for a while now. Upwards to close to a month now, I think, of us not posting every single day. I have Hulu, but thanks. Well, if it runs out, you got 30-day free after that.
I guess we'll go fuck ourselves.
Yep. No, but if anybody else that needs it, let them know about it. But little channel update too. I know you guys are used to us posting every single day. We've been having hardware issues, hardware or software issues with the Elgato and recording. It's just mucking everything up. I don't know if it's the game. I don't know if it's the hardware. I don't know if it's the hardware or the software. We don't know. So we're trying to figure it out. We're trying to get it fixed up. So while we're trying to figure it out, I'm putting more time into editing the tier list videos. We got to record some of that stuff and, try to fill the air with, the gaming and everything. Keep that 30-day free trial in your back pocket. Yes, sir. So, thank you for everybody that's still being patient and everything and still coming and watching and, coming, like, just supporting the channel, basically, even though we're not posting like what we used to. Trust me, it's pissing me off. I hate that we went from posting every single day to posting every couple other days or whatever. It's been very frustrating for me, and I'm sure it's been for James as well.
Well, we couldn't post any of those Walking Dead videos, so it feels like I'm wasting my time.
Yeah, so it's very, very frustrating, but we're getting it figured out, and we're gonna get stuff recorded. We have a plan, and that's
We have a plan.
That's what matters. So we will be posting more stuff, more gaming soon. Hopefully, finish out this Walking Dead, because I at least want to finish the Walking Dead, because I want us to play all of them. You know what I mean?
Eventually.
But I think that's about it. So thank you guys for coming and hanging out and still supporting the show and everything. And we will see you next week in the live, and hopefully the next time that we post a video. The next one should be out soon, and then get back on track. But back on track. All right. We'll see you later, Mormons.
Bye.